Howdy ho. Why?
No, but what con?
Oh, Colossal. That was a fantastic time to come back in industry.
Con, but only because I work that con and like they won't get mad at me.
There we go. Wait, why isn't that catching everybody?
And I can just shit talk the power strips.
Okay, so I can hear Maddie. Somebody else talk.
Hi.
Okay, there's Vex. Bob?
R.
Okay.
What's crack-a-lackin', guys?
Yeah, we got it. Okay. I just wanted, for some reason, my desktop audio leveler wasn't like, it didn't look like it was catching anything. All right.
Just for some extra,
I don't know what's
extra
going
confusion, I'm gonna unmute the Twitch stream, so I'm really confused as to what's happening.
Oh, good.
Gotta play the character.
Yeah, that would definitely put you in that state of mind of I don't know what's going on, because you can hear yourself and it's very off-putting.
I hate that. I don't like the sound of my own voice. I sound like 3 kobolds beating a sack of potatoes. Like,
I feel like if I wanted to
colorful.
cosplay as somebody who is hearing voices in their head constantly, that would be the perfect way to do it, because
Yeah.
it's like there's 20 people in here talking right now.
Yeah, you'd have to literally shut everything out and just focus on what was coming out of your mouth instead of what you're hearing. Oh man, it's so jarring. I hate it when that happens.
As someone that pseudo has to listen to their own voice for a living, it you have to get used to it real quick. Especially when I'm on the radio working, because my show's a radio show too. I have to hear myself so I can tell the producer up and down, or if I hear something wrong. So I have to hear the sound of my own voice, and it sucks.
my headphones have side tone, which is useful because I have trouble being able to gauge my own volume. So I can't tell how loud or how quiet I am naturally. So I have side tone going so that I don't accidentally scream at my friends, but you can tell when the side tone's going off because my volume just keeps progressively creeping higher and higher and higher. It means my headphones have glitched out and I can't hear myself anymore. But I got over it slightly because I used to for D&D because of my ADHD combined with dysgraphia. Note taking is not possible as a DM in that regards. So I audio record. I have a little voice recorder that I use for my lessons at school, and I just use that audio recorder to record all of my sessions, and it is very necessary for me to unfortunately have to slog through like 3 or 4 hours of my own voice. You desensitize really quickly.
Yep.
My internet browser is acting very up.
That's weird.
I don't know what's going on with it. Let me try rebooting it. I'm sorry, everybody. Nothing like some technical issues to start the night.
Yeah.
Technical difficulties. In the meantime, we'll just have.
Wouldn't be a Twitch stream with everything going properly.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Oh. Wait, this is where we switch to. This is where we switch to tabletop ASMR for the first part of this. Would everyone please grab out their bag of dice?
So if you can just pull out your dice from your bag slowly and softly and have them clack against each other and just witness for a moment the intensity of the sound and how it impacts your brain and the waves gently caress you.
Like an NPR host at that point.
Oh my god, I would love to be an NPR host. And today in Bosnia, we had an uprising, the likes of which this world has never seen before. The government was overthrown successfully by the rebels who had been fighting since 1995 for animal justice rights.
Thousands dead.
There were thousands dead.
Back again?
The weather today is 95 and slightly chilly.
Yeah, they're
Coming
so
up after
calm.
this American life.
They're so calm all the time. Like, I want to be that
Family of 5 has been
unflappable.
murdered brutally.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on, Google Chrome. I can actually see the new tab thing.
Hey.
Oh my god.
I see a disembodied hand petting a cat.
Ah, yes.
Kitty.
This is Althena, everybody. That's my familiar. I don't know if she's in the shot.
I love how Vex turned around to like, cat? Is there somebody petting?
I don't have
Everyone's
a cat,
like
so.
looking to see if it's another cat.
If you see a
That's-
disembodied hand patting a cat in my camera, please let me know because we don't own a cat.
That's the part you're worried about, not about the disembodied hand.
Right. Just want to make sure the cat's in the right place. The disembodied hand that's been here 200 years, we're not worried about it.
We don't talk about the disembodied hand. I'm normally in my office where there is no disembodied hands, but my office is too. My office is way too hot because there's no air conditioning vent in there. So I just decided to work in my living room, and my living room has disembodied hands, not my office.
The hand looks like it's
that's
petting
okay.
you
Yeah,
now.
we kept the screaming voices in the utility room, so I feel that.
Oh, but just the way that she's petting the cat makes it look like she's like gently stroking your shoulder with like a doll hand.
She's doing it on purpose.
Well, tell her that we love her.
My stream mates said they love your disembodied hand.
Oh, I can make them better later.
As the night goes on, can you make them look scarier, please?
There you go.
I'll have,
Get-
like, a glove.
Get them
As the
sharply
night goes
press-on
I
nails.
need you to put on the little finger gloves that make it look like you have another hand.
Oh man, I can actually type on Chrome. Why is it so slow for me? What's going on? I know my
Have you
computer's
tried
down.
downloading more RAM?
Right.
No, I haven't. I went to the. I thought about getting headlight fluid, but the store was completely out of headlight fluid.
Did you get the blinker fluid though? That's important.
They were out of blinker fluid.
What?
What about elbow
Goddamn,
grease?
What
No,
kind
no,
of
see,
third-rate store are you going to? What,
if-
AutoZone?
If they don't have any blinker fluid, just go to Wegmans and buy Visine. Because it's blinker fluid.
Milk can be a good substitute for headlight fluid, by the way.
My grandpa actually sent my sister into an AutoZone looking for blinker fluid once. Just
Oh, it's
thinking
fantastic.
she actually asked that. She did.
What
By
movie
the way.
do I want tonight?
All right. Well, we can continue forward with the game. Because I don't think we're going to have to do super many rolls until Bob can get his stuff up. So, that being said, who remembers what happened last time?
There was coffee.
There
Yeah, there was
certainly was.
really good coffee.
Can we get the?
Great twin.
There's
Can we get Clarence's rehash?
No, I
Oh,
did it
there-
last time. I
Yeah.
need a different one this time.
I mean,
not fair if I'm the one
if
that
we want
doing it
Taylor's
this
rehash, it's literally just going to be there was coffee enough that my heartbeat actually increased. It hasn't done that in years. Also there were some creepy twins. A dude from the government took the ring, and the table got wobbly because the ring was evil.
But we got paid, and also they were triplets, and I really liked them.
Twins plus one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Twins plus one, sorry.
And then we're finally going after that witch in the sewers.
Yeah, we got hired to go after a witch. Did you hear there's a witch in the
we're
sewers?
not
Did you hear that there's a
We're
witch
not
in the
protocol.
sewers?
gently.
And we're
we need
actually
to make-
hired to
Nothing
go
but witches
after
and
the
hoes.
How are we gonna tell if they're a witch or not? Should we bring a duck?
Definitely not.
Definitely.
Oh, man.
That's part of our pre-session prep.
If
Or not
somebody
pre-session,
rolls
pre-session.
low enough on a cult, I will absolutely make sure that happens.
Am I not getting the reference?
Yeah, so if witches weigh the same as a duck, that means they're going to float, which means they are a witch.
'Cause
Monty
if-
Python and the Holy
And
Grail.
if wood floats on water, what else floats on water?
A duck.
Tiny rocks.
Churches.
It's a Monty Python reference.
Yeah, Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Where they
Facts,
use the
I've never
word.
seen a Monty Python movie ever.
I feel like
Okay,
you
we're
would
having a
heartily
movie
enjoy
night.
it. Yeah.
We're having a movie night. We're gonna watch Life of Brian, and we're gonna watch
Oh my god.
uh,
Holy
yeah,
Grail
and then we're
first,
gonna
then
watch
Life
Holy
of
Grail.
Brian. They have to get
And then we
used to
can
Monty
just-
Python humor
Yeah.
first before you try Life of Brian. That's Monty
then we're
Python,
gonna-
like,
And then we're just gonna watch like 6 hours of Flying Circus.
oh my god, yeah. There's like, I hate to say it, but there's like an order that you have to watch Monty Python in order to prepare yourself for the actual series that they made, because it's
Yeah.
just so, you have to get used to their humor style first. Otherwise, it will go completely over your head, because they're so dry sometimes.
Sometimes.
All right,
Hey, Bob's here.
so
Yeah.
You guys met the triplets from the Triple Espresso, the weird triplets that all talked and acted at the same time whenever they were around people that they knew were of the magic community or the monster community. You also met Field Agent Mary Linsfield, who very accurately told you what the ring in your possession was and offered you some money so that way the Department of Treasury could acquire it and make sure it didn't get into the wrong hands. Unfortunately, Rent called out to you, so you didn't really get to make a moral choice on who really has authority to determine if magic items can get into the wrong hands or not. So, $1,000 speaks a lot louder than moral quandaries tend to. From that point in time, you guys got a contract in iHunt that you bid on successfully and met up with the Sisterhood of the Dark Sun. Which sounds very heinous, but it's more like a very active book club Wiccan commune. Coven. Yeah, coven's the proper term. And they seem to be very, very interested in a rumor that there's a particular swamp witch hanging out in the Las Vegas homeless community. They want to extend some sort of an offer, but they're having a really hard time finding them. That's where you guys come in. So the Skype call, because Skype hashtag obsolete. I blanked. I'm sorry. They once you got done with the Skype call, you kind of get to go from there. I think you guys were back at the house by this point, if I recall correctly.
No, I think we were in the car. I thought, or we were still in the cafe. Then I think we might have been in the car.
I think
It
we
was
were in the car for
dubious.
this boat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Clarence was holding his phone. So it depends on if we were driving or not while that was going on. Were you driving and Skyping?
Didn't
I
we
mean,
take
I
the
was
call in the
driving and
cafe?
somebody else was holding the phone. I think
Oh,
Bob was
that-
holding the phone like in front of everybody else.
But I was in the. I thought we were in the cafe doing it.
No.
We might have been in the cafe doing it. I think we weren't in the car yet. There was talk about being in the car, then we weren't in the car. We're
Yes.
Schrodinger's vehicle right now.
Okay, that works for me.
Schrodinger's vehicle.
Schrodinger's vehicle. You did and did not take the Skype call in the truck. Cool.
Probably have headed home by this point, as I assume we are not just still awkwardly sitting in the cafe while staring at the triplets.
Yep.
You give us way too much credit.
So you guys get back. Dee's the door to Dee's apartment is closed, and the very familiar "keep out" sign is currently on it. So you guys assume that she's in the middle of some type of research or even just sleeping. The sign tends to be up more often recently. It's definitely getting harder to talk to her. She's getting a bit more reclusive, but you give her your space. She keeps the place clean, pays rent. You're good. How would you guys like to approach this particular tough nut to crack? Like, has anybody done a contract with iHunt before that did not actually involve getting killed or killing something?
I think Max has. Max has tried to do those ones specifically for a while.
Okay.
Jenny's
I use
probably
words with
done one or
this word
two.
well.
Jack might not have done one on iHunt, but is very good at negotiation. So, a search and rescue probably isn't out of the realm of things that he can do.
Okay. So everybody has at least passed. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Clarence.
I punch things.
So everybody but Clarence has at least passing familiarity with non-lethal contracts, at minimum. Okay. So so you guys get in. Again, the door to Dee's room is closed, so you have the apartment pretty much to yourselves. Do you guys want to sit and do like a powwow? Or are you gonna? What do you want to do? How do you want to approach this?
First of all, we've had money, so I do believe we can order a pizza.
Outside,
Or Chinese. We have enough money
Ooh.
to order Chinese. We can be luxurious. Or pad thai.
And you can get it from that fancy place from downtown too.
Utilities are coming up. Let's not get too. We can go to the one that doesn't have cockroaches in the front of the store, which I guess is the fancy one.
Yeah. For Chinese, yeah.
Well, not for Chinese, but for restaurants in our neighborhood. That's a general thing.
A general so.
On General Sows.
I mean,
Um,
if the Vietnamese restaurant doesn't have at least one cockroach, it's not doing it right.
no, the Vietnamese restaurants around here are like the cleanest restaurants ever. Like you, honestly, there's one of them where they aside here. There's one near me that I'm pretty sure they polish the floor so well that if a stray sunlight catches in there, it is going to death beam somebody. It's gonna just straight up vaporize someone in line. But anyway,
So,
Yeah, let's try it this way. Why don't you guys, one by one, kind of introduce yourself and your character real quick, since we are coming into the stream, and then give a quick bitty on what they're doing as they come into the house to prepare for the contract. Tell me kind of what their mentality is and what's your normal routine coming back to the house.
who wants to start? I can start.
start with that.
So we're gonna go name, character name.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
So, my name is Brian. My character's name is Clarence Bartholomew Flyer. And as Clarence walks into the house, he goes immediately to his room and takes off his fancy overalls and puts on his relaxation overalls. And that should give you all of the insight into the character that you need.
Yeah, honestly. Kind of come back in the living room, ready to talk about it. Does he grab like a cold one or anything like that and settle in?
Grabs water he doesn't drink.
Okay, there you go. All right. Next up in character order would be Jack.
Jack, would you like? You said you want me to give an introduction.
Yeah,
to the
just give a
character?
quick introduction to yourself, your character, and then what they do when they come into the house to prep for this powwow.
Hi, I'm Bob. I play Jack Pomegranate, paranormal investigator for a living, and monster hunter in iHunt. I host a podcast called Bob After Dark. Shameless plug. Check it out. As Jack enters the house, Jack is a hokey magician who discovered real magic by complete accident, and he lives his life day to day as if one-liner puns and jokes and really bad sarcastic humor is going to get him through the day. Jack probably will enter the room after a very long day, get out of his work attire, slip into a bathrobe, grab himself a cigarette, pour himself a drink, and sit down on the couch and wait for the others.
Okay. Next would be Jenny.
Of course, I just took a piece of bread because I have my hubris is my undoing.
And how is
Jenny-
your meal tonight?
Delicious, my single slice of bread with a little bit of butter. Yeah. So Jenny's normal way of getting in the house is like any begrudgingly old 20-something stagehand. She walks in, having finished the last blissful sips of coffee, goes to the fridge, and immediately pulls out a cold coffee from the fridge, refilling her cup and hoping the last vestiges of good taste might be captured. I am Maddie. Not much to introduce on myself other than I am playing Sailor Jenny. She's a Las Vegas stagehand worker, and not unproud of it, but definitely feeling the burn of one too many all-nighters and one too many late work shifts. So she grabs the new coffee and then probably just goes out into the living room, and one earbud goes in, out pops the phone, and email, Facebook event, Discord chat,
Gotcha.
Discord chat, TikTok, and she waits for the others. Just catches up on probably 3 days worth of social media in less than 5 minutes.
As we tend to do. And the last one is Max.
Hi, I'm Vex. I'm playing Max Huffman. Max is a part-time cook, part-time performer, and they were probably, as soon as we agreed to this, like in the truck, texting any of their contacts in the area with the, hey, weird swamp witch thing? You'd seen anything about this? anything weird like that. And so by the time they've gotten home, they're just like, all right, well, it's going to be a while until anyone responds. So it's going to go grab their contact ball and just start fiddling and waiting for someone to get back to them because it's going to take a minute.
So for the stream, since you can't see our webcams at the moment, Vex has actually pulled a contact ball out from her webcam, out of frame of her webcam, and is now playing with it in a stunning amount of character overlap.
Right what you know.
Okay, so everybody kind of congregates in the living room. You have your mission. How are you guys gonna? How are you reacting to it? How are you talking to each other about it?
Hey guys, fellow Girl Scouts here. Has anybody ever been? Anybody know how old this witch is that's down in the sewers? I know they mentioned she's younger. Yeah.
I think they mentioned she's like 20 something or like that, but
Yeah, something.
Has anybody ever been the 20-something-year-old witch that decided to run away from home and Liz living in the sewers?
okay, so one of those things is not like the others, but some of those things do resonate with home, yeah.
Clarence was in a past life.
You caught me.
In my past life, I was a teen heroine of a romance novel where I was being romanced by two starkly different yet exactly the same man for the sake of drama. Whilst I was so plain and yet beautiful and capable but klutzy.
Is there a reason Jenny's not like star performer? Because she's pretty dramatic.
Wonderful.
Look, you hang around actors long enough and you get started working a little bit. You are what you eat.
That was very much my college experience, so yeah.
So, hear me out here, guys. I understand the whole, like, waking up one day and having powers you don't understand thing, and a difference between me and said witch is I decided to use it to make money. This poor thing's probably lost, confused, and scared, and has no idea what they're getting into. So we're probably going.
Very pissed off.
Yeah, so we're probably going to want to go into this not guns ablazing. Jack looks over to Clarence and says, "Let's not have a repeat of the library incident."
Jack, you use your powers to make money? Why are you so broke then?
Didn't say I was good at it.
Anyway, startling revelations and humility aside, I'm inclined to agree. We might want to make sure we don't go in here in a way that's going to result with us crispy fried and or scaring her off, or we don't know if there's something chasing her, or if she's just
Look, I get it. I understand. Max has been a real loose cannon recently, and I will make sure that she doesn't do anything too hasty. You know,
I don't think we have to worry about them, Clarence. I think they're gonna be okay.
I'm sorry. Them. My
I don't think they're the one. Clarence, honey bun, cow pie.
Cow pie.
That's the sweetest thing you've ever said to me.
Oh man.
I think, you got kind of that's actually no, that might honestly though, no offense guys, but like out of all of us, Clarence is sort of the least shifty. He might actually be a pretty good point on this, just because I think between you and me and the lamppost, it's pretty obvious that the best lie Clarence can I mean, you saw the face he made when he stole the last piece of Chinese by accident. I don't think he's got a lying bone in his body, or if he does, he's the best liar I've ever met. He might be a good point of contact. We just really got to get close to her and not spook her, and have someone talk about that, and pamphlets, which they don't have, but we might grab some, like, blanket, water. We don't know if she's got proper shoes, so maybe bringing, I wonder if Dee still got her spare set of waders.
So going more of a humanitarian route is, I'm hearing from Jenny. Okay.
And tracking her down. Bring supplies, track her down, and make sure it doesn't look like we're, we come with arms laden with weapons, we might not make it out of there. But if we come with, you know, a snack, she might at least listen to us. Hey,
Bob, what's Jack thinking?
All right, guys, hear me out. All right, so we send in Papa Clarence to go in and do what he's got to do to calm him down, giving out some hugs and not in a very threatenful way. Has anybody here have magical powers? Raise your hand.
Is milking a cow without getting kicked count?
Absolutely not. And I can
is
tell
that thing
you,
I can do with a cherry stem count?
that's magic in a whole nother way, dear. This is I'm talking. This is raw, sheer, nasty power, and just from sheer random experience, when emotion is charging your abilities, things can happen. Things can happen that I can't explain or that I didn't want to happen. We might go toe to toe with this poor thing, and she might get freaked out and start casting fireball.
Actually,
and the last thing,
not to interrupt you, I apologize. Go ahead and make me an occult roll real quick while you're doing this explanation.
absolutely.
So, what you're saying is we should bring a magical binky with us. So if the baby witch has a colic, we don't have to deal with it.
Okay, so you rolled a 1. Okay. Jack, being more immersed in the magical community and also having powers yourself, you're fairly convinced of what you're saying. You know that there's a small catch in that the way magic manifests, especially in different traditions, is important. And the fact that you guys don't really know what tradition she's practicing might throw a bit of a wrench on how you can prepare to slough off any potential hostility.
Yeah.
Per se.
That's the other thing, guys. Is magic comes from things, right? And there's
I wouldn't know.
there's a. I'm glad you all are enjoying.
You mean like where babies come from?
Actually, look, all I'm saying is there's a big possibility that she might have a very similar situation to what I have going on, and the last thing we want to do is make some sort of deity or demon very angry. So we should probably be very careful going into this, but being as nice as possible.
Well, we could also try and see if we can track down like somebody that knew her before she decided to become the first inaugural member of the Bog Hag Union down in the sewer. Join the Bog
I
Hag
mean,
Union.
if
We
she
have
ran
info.
away, she probably had a reason for running away, so I don't
Yeah, well, we might be able to.
necessarily know that bringing up the past is the best idea.
Well, we could try to see if we can at least find out what kind of like practitioner she is, so we're not going in blind. And just because we know about her past doesn't mean she knows we know. And we don't have. It also might make for a point of contact because if there's some trauma, it might let us pick which one of us is the best front man to approach her.
Absolutely.
Rather than just, you know, if she's terrified of people with who smell of cow, Clarence might be the worst person to send in. But she might also have a supportive next door neighbor with a thing for overalls, so Clarence might be the best person to send in.
Look, I haven't smelled like a cow in at least 2 weeks, okay?
Papa Clarence.
Hun, that was an example.
Okay, I want to clarify that.
Yeah.
No, we know,
But
we know.
Of the four of us, you are the most likely to smell like that again soon.
Yeah.
I'm hurt. That's hurtful.
Except that
I'm
time I
sorry.
worked at the butcher factory, but rent was rent.
Or
That's the
or the
slaughterhouse.
time that all of you came back from fighting the Fatberg.
Yeah, that was fun too.
I don't know if that smells like cow or what happens after a cow goes through a Las Vegas buffet. So,
With your permission, there, fellow Ghoul Scouts, I have two sources I'd like to tap into before we move forward. One is I want to make sure that there's not a deity running around Vegas causing people to feel any sort of way. And that, I have a little friend that
Oh
might
boy.
want to say hi to me.
Okay.
The second is I'll give Harry a call and see what Harry says, and if he knows about any girl that might have popped into the bar, and see if there's any kind of lead he has.
Hey Max, do you want to play good cop, different side of town cop, and see if we can't track down any info about like seedy past, or we can have one of us probably hit up some seedy past resources and see if we can find any history, and we can have another one of us see if we can find any other resources. Because I'm not saying that we don't want to send her to this coven, but if we come with more than one option, it'll probably seem less like a kidnapping with cookies involved. If we can get a couple other places that might be good to go for, she might be more willing to come to the coven.
As long as you're not insinuating that I'm the good cop in this scenario, we're alright.
No, it's less good cop, it's more chaos cop, tired cop, but...
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Clarence,
I'm
what
2
you
weeks
got?
away from retirement, and my name's Joe.
Clarence, what do you got on your mind?
I mean, I'll just stick with you, Jack. I wouldn't want you to get snapped in half by that little demon you got there.
You guys, I know Jenny really enjoys this part. Do you guys want me to do this in front of you guys, or do you want to leave?
Oh,
Let me
that's
get
right.
popcorn
Max hasn't seen this yet.
Max, you're gonna want popcorn.
What?
Come on.
Am I though?
I have an emergency supply of it. Look for the ammo chest marked highly explosive. There is, in fact, popcorn in there.
The Jiffy Pop you put on the stove and shake it?
Oh yeah. If magic comes from the same place that babies do, I think I'm alright. No, I'm good.
Yeah, you wanna
Jack,
grab this?
So
Smack
what?
up the client cow, bring him.
Grabs. Jenny's just gonna grab Max's shoulder like that conspiratorial friend that's just like, no. You want to look. Do not look away.
What you got on your mind, Sarge?
So what does Jack get together in order to bring his friend around?
Pricks his finger, makes a little symbol of blood on the ground. Lays out a piece of paper so he doesn't bloody up the carpet, and he says the incantation.
Oh, we didn't go. I think we went over that last time, but I can't remember what it was. The last time you summoned him.
Well, so Jack pricks his finger. As you can see, the thumb is a bit on the swollen side from lots of pricking. What is a big thing in magic? He forms the symbol on the ground on a nice piece of paper that's lying there. And he looks up to the ceiling, eyes rolls back in the head, and in a deep voice says, "Hear ye, I call forth succo."
Gonna lean over to Jenny and go, Sockapex? Is he talking about Sockapex? What?
So as he looks
Sucko.
as he looks forward, and Max, you kind of look over and ask about this. Your shadow seems to move underneath you and turn into almost a two-dimensional cat/demon that is just pure jet black, except for what seems to be a slightly darker black where his eyes are supposed to be. And he goes, "No, it's just Sucko Toots. Don't worry about it."
Greetings, succo.
God, I love it when you say that. It's just, this is the best part about having a contract with you, as accidental as it was. The 2D figure seems to almost slide up onto the wall across from you all. And you can't see it, but you can feel the sly smile on his face. Jack, I would say it's a pleasure, but I'd be lying.
I would be saying the same thing, bud. How have you been? How's hell?
I mean,
Or one of the very many hells there are, I guess.
there's a bit of a breeze today, a bit chilly. It's hot. What the fuck do you think it is?
I was expecting the NPR radio announcement there, sucko. Jeez.
No, we have Dan Rather's down there for that. Oh, that's right. That hasn't happened yet.
That hasn't happened. Thanks for the spoilers, sucko.
Stuff slips. What can I say?
I offer some
All right,
sucko
pal.
popcorn.
Sucko, I think you have a fan here.
The shadow seems to actually, as he reaches for it, it's actually traveling across every individual piece as though it was a shadow stretching itself out, and then goes up you, goes under the popcorn and then just seems to take one and drag it along the same path back to the wall. And then it just seems to kind of like absorb itself into the wall.
Yeah.
And, burnt. Just like I like it. Thank you.
Ah. Hey, Sucko, I wish I could say this was a social call.
It never is.
It never is it, pal?
Mm-mm.
Hey, I need to know if you know anything about any sort of angry you type or you higher type running around Vegas right now. Very vengeful, maybe scaring younger ladies off.
He seems to get a little shifty and nervous for a moment. He's like, why? What did you hear?
Well, you see, Sucko.
I'm
I
kidding.
got-
No, I don't know of anything like that. No, there's at any given time there's about 15 of us running around, specifically this city. I mean, the city of sin. Come on, like it's kind of our shtick.
I get it. But what would your type want with a young 20-something witch? I'm just curious. We got a case here. I'm hunting one down, not in a killing sense, but rescuing mission type. I need to know if there's any sort of involvement with your type right now with younger ladies.
I mean, we had the Spanish Inquisition. That was enough of our fill for a long
Sucko.
time.
Sucko.
All right.
It's the Tao. I need to know now. Is there some sort of deity running around or a demon running around that's targeting these types of ladies? I kind of need to know why she's running, and I just had a sinking suspicion might have been your type.
Tell you what, you know the contract. Nothing I give is actually free, and nothing you ask for is technically free, and vice versa. You give me something, let's say, searching oriented, and I'll see what I can find. Because I can't actually say no, unfortunately, or else, God, this whole relationship would be entirely different.
Yeah, then we'd actually be friends, and that'd be really awkward.
Wouldn't it?
So what do you want?
Something searching related. I don't know how much clearer I can be here, bud. Like, I can't actually dictate what it is. You have to provide me something of value for you.
Do you want 3 months off my life so it's 3 months closer to being contract broken?
I
No.
don't think that counts as searching related. Do we still have the old phone books? The one that's holding up the coffee table?
I mean,
I
that's valuable.
guess. We're going to be one
Right.
wobbly table.
Yeah.
That is
You
something
want that?
valuable to us.
Jack walks over to the coffee table, lifts it up. It's the 1997 Vegas Yellow
Oh,
Pages.
man.
Tosses it on the ground in front of Sucko. There.
Sucko just kind of flicks his hand to the left, and the pages automatically fly open to the W section. And he kind of looks down and gives a slight smile and says, "Oh yeah, Betty White is in this one. Okay." And snatches his hand shut, and the thing erupts into a small flame and is gone. It's like, all right, I guess that'll do. Give me a second. And the shadow vanishes, and literally a second later it comes back. All right, so there's no major players on the scene right now, as far as I can tell. There's nothing down there that has any particular interest in young victims, but outside of the norm, I mean, virgin sacrifices and all that are still technically a thing, but but of a specific magical young woman, no, there's nothing in the cards for that. There has been some interesting ripples, though, that I heard from one particular demon, Mistopheles. You might be familiar with him. Yeah.
I'm a little familiar, Sucko.
He did notice that there were a couple random fluctuations happening around Las Vegas, specifically in, like, what do you guys call it, the Spring Valley area? Hold on, there's a lot of like Chinese traditions and stuff going around there, so there's a lot of weird stuff happening to begin with. But in this particular case, it was not of the same variety of magic. Like, you know what I'm talking about. There's probably another tradition pulling from the energy there. So, yeah, there's whatever you're looking for, that's probably it, because you always seem to stumble onto the weirdest things, so.
you wouldn't want a contract with a normal person now, would you?
Oh, at least I could eat them and be done with it.
Ah,
I
you
have a
wouldn't taste
feeling,
very good,
you'd be sinewy. I'm not into that.
Yeah, starving artists do not make good snacks.
All right, Sucko. Well, I'm still alive for the moment, so as long as I'm here, I guess our contract abides. You could drop in and say hi once in a while, bud.
But why?
I don't
Popcorn?
know, maybe popcorn?
I'll
You could
come
say
back
hi
and see
anytime.
her,
I was
but
gonna,
Hey, we're still on for poker next weekend,
oh,
right?
Can you not
absolutely.
make poker dates with my contractal demon, please?
Are you kidding me? Dude, he's been clearing out my coworkers. It's fucking hilarious. They think they can win a bet against him.
The best part is when they start betting memories of the game itself, so none of them remember that they played. It's great.
All right. Well, Sucko, happy trails.
He gives the kind of half salute, like, all right, whatever. And poof,
Ye
he's
I
gone.
just call forth Sucko. Looking forward to the ceiling, puff of cloud.
And just the echo of the sardonic laughter of every time he forces you to say that name.
Hey, Max, want to join a poker game, by the way?
Yes, I absolutely do. Yep.
So
was
what's Max's first reaction to the fact that Jack is accidentally bound to a demon?
What? Why is it a cat?
Have you met cats?
Out of character. The first thing that came to mind. Have you ever seen Disenchanted? The Matt Groening show.
Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it.
The Simpsons the fantasy version on Netflix.
Yeah.
Well, it's like the fantasy version of Futurama
I've seen
by the same
2
people.
episodes of that. Yeah.
So the little demon dude, the shadow guy. That's who I base Sucko on. It's just sarcastic, not. I don't know,
Yeah,
not this
yeah.
most serious demon in the world. And I think
Yeah.
Sarge just ran with it and called him a cat-like thing, and that's just what it
Beautiful.
I
is.
feel like that was
I
the
love
closest thing I could do. Like, it's really hard to describe him in any
Yeah,
other
no,
way.
so that's Sucko, the contract-bound demon. There he is.
And he just does whatever you want until you die, and then he eats you.
It's a bit more complicated than that, but essentially they have a back and forth. If Sucko needs anything, he can also call on Jack.
Yep.
He just hasn't done it yet.
As
Not
as
terrifying
time
at all.
progresses and the character happens, there's a whole backstory to it.
Mhm.
I'd like to think at least once during the poker night games we have called in that just to make him run and grab us beer.
The catch is that there always has to be something offered that is meaningful to the request. So most likely he would have given him like a poker chip and purchased quote unquote the drinks, and Jack really can't say no. So that being said, so you do got an indication that there is a different type of tradition being used in the Spring Valley. Beyond what normal, I would say, Chinese Hermeticism or mysticism would normally be practiced, since there is a large. That's essentially kind of Chinatown in Las Vegas, is Spring Valley. A lot of the richer people live there, especially if they're kind of going incognito. A lot of celebrities have second or third pads there. They don't prefer not to go into like the Green Valley, which is the major like old money area, or Summerlin, which is its own man-made lake and constructed housing, stuff like that.
Isn't that also where that's where the homeless community and the sewer entrance that we went to is in? If I
Correct.
recall correctly. So
That's
that does
correct.
line up with a lot of our. So we know that'll help with the tracking spell at least. You can look for something that is a disturbance in the force, so to speak. With
Thanks
that
for,
tracking spell, you got it.
Thank you so much for boiling down my abilities as a George Lucas series of films. I really appreciate
My
that.
extra cosmic abilities is something mundane and blasé. Thank you.
I
And your
really
extra cosmic
appreciate.
abilities are not just cheap 90s special effects, but like real.
Oh, he did the quarter trick on you too. Okay.
Jack pulls out his fingers real quick and does the thumb thing. Da na na na. Da na 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 na.
All right, so Sucko has not. He's confirmed some of what you know, but has also given you some new information. Where do you guys want to go from here?
Alright, so we know it's not Chinese. That lines it out. Do we want to try digging up backstory to see if we know good point of contact and try to do that? And then we can also look up further resources so we can bring some goodies to make that point of contact for the witches less do this or else. Because our only thing that we had to do with them is that we had to bring forward the offer. They never said we had to succeed in order to get paid.
Yeah.
Correct.
So if we bring her several options, we're more likely to have her go to them rather than assume we can let them know that they hired us, but if we have more resources, it'll probably up our credibility as non-partisan. So we can try to look for other,
Don't mind me. Here's a bag full of snacks, a bunch of pamphlets. Do good things. It's woogity woo powers. Hope
Hey,
you don't
man,
have a
like-
magic cat attached to you.
hey, pamphlets save lives, okay? And by save lives, I mean they kill trees, but they...
I mean, that phone book was saving my drink, but...
It's fine, it's fine. We'll just get one of the, I'm sure, honestly, with how hard she's studying, it'll take a couple weeks before, if we take one of the dictionaries off the shelf before it'll be noticed for missing. Oh, come on.
I mean,
It's very
yeah.
hard to find a phone book at this day and age.
It is.
Actually, yeah, it is. It's really difficult to find one.
Uh-huh.
I haven't found one in a long time.
We had to have something valuable that involves searching.
Yeah.
Phone books are hard to find.
That's true. That's true.
Like the
Hey, Clarence, any ideas?
I don't know who that was.
Oh, that was my demon.
your demon has a
Wait,
dumb name.
are you afraid of that little thing?
I mean that's just the form it takes to hang out with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen its true form. It's not that nice. In fact, it's probably driven me on some sort of Lovecraftian madness here, pal. But yeah,
I mean, you weren't crazy already. I think that was just you being crazy already.
no, I'm not crazy. Come on.
Clarence, just out of curiosity, the bigger the thing, the more dangerous it is, yeah?
I mean, have you seen a cow recently?
I have. I've also seen a rattlesnake, though, so...
I've also
Yeah,
seen a
rattlesnakes
moose.
announce their presence.
Moose.
You ever seen a cow sneak up on you? It's like a fucking ninja.
Pretty sure it's like a cow, but alright.
I could only, like, the only thing I imagine now is Clarence, like, baling hay or something, and then, like, it cuts over his shoulder, he bends down to bale hay, and there's just a cow right there, like, with a knife, and he comes back up and looks at it, and it's just, like, down on all fours, just chewing cud, looking at him.
Donna, Donna, with Jaws music playing in the background, or Psycho music. Alright, so the lethality of cows aside.
Great.
They almost got my father 6 times.
Honestly, though.
Unfortunately, it was years of rampant heart disease and mismanaging his cholesterol, but those doctors
Oh.
told us all those lies, and, you know.
All right, Max and Jenny, who are you calling? Remember, so just to clarify, everybody does have the ability to pay 1 fate point to declare some sort of story thing. Hey, I know this person. Hey, there's a bar down the road that I know about. Hey, this person has this particular type of facial facial feature, or they do this. Your fate points are your ability to influence the story and the setting. So if you guys would like to, I know you two in particular, since you're 66s, you get your stunt that allows you to pay and not only say that you know somebody as a story detail, but they are an expert in the thing that you're trying to find as a condition for that.
You can't see, but I'm holding an invisible fate point. I would like to declare that I know somebody who is the magical equivalency of a social worker.
I have just the person. What specifically are you looking for?
I'm looking for somebody that might be well enough connected to those kind of resources of like shelters and stuff that won't turn a blind eye if your version of nightmares is your head spinning around and exorcism style while floating 6 inches off the bed.
When your nightmares are just too bad.
Yeah, when your
Okay.
night terrors become night terrors for everybody else.
Jenny,
It's the night terror that keeps on giving.
Jenny, you know a woman, and you know her very well. She has saved your butt on many an occasion. If you go into, let's see here, we'll say Sunrise. If you go into Sunrise, which is up here next to Nellis Air Force Base, you know of a small holistic not nursing center, a clinic. That's the word, holistic clinic. You haven't seen many that have claimed specifically to be a clinic. But you have seen this one, and you know that if there's anybody in the area that's connected to essentially magical social work, this person would be it.
Okay. Yeah. Alright, so I know a place I can head to grab some pamphlets. If you want to handle the backstory routing, since you're more subterfuge and shit disturbing.
It's a really nice way of saying professional shitster.
Alright. Yep.
Okay. How would you like to roll something in order to try to figure that one out, or would you like to also use a fate point to declare that you know somebody?
I want to roll something, and I'm looking at the things that I have. And I realize that investigator is probably actually more accurate.
Mm-hmm.
Because the other thing that I'm looking at, and I don't know if I could make a justification for it, is survivor, but I don't think.
I would accept either of those, honestly, because investigator in order to dig things up, but also survivor because you are essentially trying to track down somebody that's homeless.
Yeah.
And if you can think like them, you can try and piece it together.
Okay. Great. Teamwork. Just gonna do that.
Okay.
Yeah. Great.
Right. So survivor at a +3. But now that you guys have kind of narrowed down that it's in the Spring Valley area, Max, there has definitely been a few times where you've had to kick it back on those streets. Times were rough, you couldn't quite pay bills, so there's definitely a couple places where they took you in. If you can follow the same kind of train of thought that you had when you were going through that, then most likely you'll be able to find at least traces of this person. So what we can do is, since you both have kind of a contact in different directions, you're going to go beat feet on the pavement, and somebody can go with you. And then Maddie's going to go check out the holistic clinic up in Sunrise, and somebody can go with them. How do you guys want to split this up? Not everybody at once.
I feel like
We draw straws, gang.
we did draw straws.
Rock, paper, scissors. 1, 2.
I think Maddie had a good idea earlier about Clarence maybe being better on the street because it's very clear that, like, he's not fucking with you. And also, like, if someone tries to stab me, he's maybe gonna help.
Okay.
No one's gonna stab you on my watch, man.
I feel like our delightful magician friend is just the right level of crazy to believe enough of the holistic medicine shit that if nothing else, if there's a crazy holistic medicine care in there, I can throw him at them as a sacrifice while I talk the actual shit with the clinic owner. When someone starts talking about, oh, you should come to my Reiki class, I can send him their way. Pomegranate man.
I want to point out that I'm very offended. Thanks. I'm glad to hear that I am Reiki bait.
Reiki bait. That sounds like just a niche dark web kink that I don't want to think about.
I promise that wasn't my intention. I hope I didn't offend anybody.
Oh, you're fine.
Yeah, no. I just have a weird, like, I go to a Wiccan supply store in my town, and, like, 3 times I've gone there, and I've met different women that are like, oh, you're an old soul who's been reincarnated many times. Check out my Reiki class. And to the point where I'm just like, why does this keep happening?
Okay.
Exactly.
So
Don't
Jack's going to
worry.
go to the holistic clinic with Jenny, and Clarence is
Yeah.
going to beat feet with Max on the pavement of Spring Valley. Okay. Well, we
I'll go
will.
get my good overalls on.
Aw. You don't have to.
It's not the dress overalls. He's not trying to impress,
No,
but
no, no, no. These are the ones that look good, but I don't care if they get dirty.
Oh.
so Jack, how are you and Jenny getting to Sunrise from Enterprise?
Don't worry. I will like to spend a fate point.
Okay.
I know an Uber driver that owes me several favors. His name is Chad. And Chad, yeah, Chad.
Okay.
Chad is a very Chad's a fellow magic user, but is very much more down on his luck than Jack, which says a lot. So
I mean, he's a taxi driver, he's an Uber driver, not a taxi driver. Let's say
yeah,
taxi
sure,
drivers
you can
make
be a
good money.
taxi or an Uber driver, whatever's fine. But Chad's a fellow magic user and is less potent than Jack, which says a lot. So he's even less knowledgeable. But he owes Jack several favors. I'd like to spend that point and give him a call.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So you give him a holler, and you hear a very kind of yeah.
Chad,
Oh, hey, Jack. Hi. How are you?
buddy, how are you?
I'm I don't know. Could be better.
I have a favor for you.
Yay.
I promise we're not driving into a horde of monsters again. No more zombies, bud.
I mean,
You're driving me. Hear me out. We're going to go see a Reiki healer.
I never said it was a Reiki healer. I said there might be Reiki healers.
at least it can't leave dents in my car again.
No,
Let's
buddy.
hope not.
It's not. I promise. This is everything I've ever wanted. You know those hokey magic people? We're gonna go see a hokey magic person. I am so distraught about
Jack-
this, but I'm the
Jack-
only one.
Jack, aren't we hokey magic people?
No, Chad, listen, buddy, my friend, just you do this favor for me. We'll knock one of the dozen's favors off that you owe me. How's that sound?
I mean, I guess I can't really say no, now can I?
Well, I mean, unless you're busy, but if you're busy, I'm just going to have to bring up that time that I saved your life and broke my arm in 12 places, and I had to have Sucko magically put it back together, and he wasn't very gentle, and that really hurt. So, like, this is
Now
your
why
call.
you've got that weird crooked bit near your wrist.
And Jack just flips his wrist, and it turns all the way around at her.
Yep.
It goes real quiet on the line for a moment. Same place?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Alright, I'll see you in 15.
Thanks, Chad.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna grab a water bottle and/or an energy drink, both from the fridge, along with a
Sounds
little
like a real
snack
nice
bag.
guy.
So,
Jenny,
your
we're-
experience with this clinic, you cannot bring any caffeine on the premises. So
Oh,
you're
I
gonna
meant
have to
for
drink
the
it.
Uber driver.
Oh, for the Uber drive. Okay, there you go.
Jenny, do you have Vicks Vapor Rub?
For the Uber driver?
Just, do you have Vicks Vapor Rub?
No, I have Tiger Balm though.
That, not what I was asking, but okay, you're in for a treat.
Oh boy.
I'm gonna grab the Tiger Balm because it's Vicks Vapor Rub but stronger.
Not the same thing.
I guess we're about to figure out why, because 15 minutes goes by and a sparkling blue Prius pulls up to the front. And it is very clear that this man did not pick this car. Or at least he didn't pick the paint job. Because it is a squirrely, thin man with the same kind of stature as a pigeon would have. And not the brave ones in New York. We're talking like it sees a piece of bread and then looks about 8 different directions because it thinks it's going to be eaten. So he is very kind of gaunt and, head down around his shoulders, kind of, all right, Jack, I'm here.
Chad, how have you been, buddy?
Get in the car, Jack.
I'm just gonna
Chad.
slide the energy drink and the snack his way.
Chad, this is my cohort. You know that this is Jenny, she's a friend.
Hi, Jenny.
Do you prefer
Chad, have you gotten any
Monster or
iHunt
Red
cases
Bull?
lately? Have you picked any of those up?
No,
Hmm?
I'm still doing the Uber thing.
Ah,
Can you get into the car? I'm
Yeah.
on time.
I'm already
I-
in car.
I'm
Yep.
going in. I'm gonna sit with Jenny in the back.
All right. He does accept your energy drink and granola bar, but he seems to take it with the same kind of melancholy that one might take a pill. Just kind of like that. Okay. Slow puts in cup holder, proceeds to turn on relaxing waterfall sounds. He seems to have a whole track of them on his phone. And as you're driving, anytime that Jack starts trying to talk to him, he just reaches forward very blatantly and starts turning it up.
Chad,
I'm
how's
gonna guess that this is a guy we're gonna want to remember for a psychiatrist recommendation.
Chad?
Nobody ever said that magic was kind to people.
Chad,
No.
Chad, Chad.
Eventually, it sounds like Niagara Falls in the car. There's just so much
You just
white
have to roll down
noise.
the window and stick her
Chad.
head out like a poodle.
Chad,
Quieter.
Chad,
Oh my god. What, Jack? Turns it
how have
back
you
down.
been?
Turns it back up again.
You know, I haven't seen you since the werewolf case, man.
He doesn't refuse to talk to you because refuse would be too strong to describe anything that he does. But there is essentially like a recognition that you're speaking to him, but he has his attention on other things. The very almost British refusal of, oh, hey, look, there's something else more interesting over here, as he continues to drive you through the highway.
Fine.
It only takes about a half hour. It is a fairly decent time of day in order to travel anywhere. You guys manage to get off next to Ellis, and he takes a lot of twists and turns as Jenny tells him where to go. And you come up to a section of really run down. Actually, sorry, it wouldn't be in Sunrise. It would be in Whitney. That's what I was thinking. Whitney down here. Whitney is kind of like the used to be bad side of town and is now kind of picking back up, but you see a lot of abandoned strip malls. And this happens to be one of those many abandoned strip malls that you just kind of pull through and just see boards upon closed signs. And then there's just one in the middle of an entirely abandoned strip mall, and it just says Holistic Clinic on it. Very, very plain font. Almost like if you took a label and printed it off yourself, it might look better than the sign itself does. It's completely tinted in the front, so you can't see inside at all. And Chad pulls up, kind of screeches to a halt a little bit, as much as a Prius can screech to a halt. All right, we're here.
Thanks, Chad.
Yeah, don't mention it. No, really. Don't mention
Chad,
it.
you know, Chad, we need to go have a drink soon. I have not had a
Hey,
drink.
why don't we head into the store and we'll
Fine.
catch up with. Well, I'm just gonna herd him out of the car while slipping a 20 to the man. I'm
Finger
just gonna-
guns. Chad.
And he just kind of does the very sarcastic, like, yeah, like completely limp wristed, guns back to you. And
Yeah,
total.
just like, yeah. Well, you can catch up with him later. I'm so sorry. Come on, why don't we?
And he proceeds to drive off. So you have this abandoned strip mall in the middle of abandoned strip mall land, with a single store. What would you guys like to do?
Jenny, what in the name of every hell there is in existence did you bring me to? This
You can
place
tell
smells
it's
like
real because
essential.
it's the only thing still in here.
It smells like essential oils, and I'm not even inside yet. I'm already mad.
I'm just gonna head inside.
Uh,
Just gonna walk in. I
Jack
mean, if you want
Funk-
to sit on the curb, I'll bring you out a lollipop.
No, I'm not gonna make you go in there by yourself. These people are savages. Jack reaches into his pocket and pulls out a pair of sunglasses that say Ray Breads and puts them on and enters. He doesn't want them looking directly in his eye in case one turns him to stone.
Ray Breads. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's about right.
Okay, so you guys go in, and Jenny, you've been here before, so this is totally expected to you. But Jack, this is the cleanest and most well organized holistic center you have ever seen. It's actually like kind of living up to the clinical aspect of its name. Everything is in separate jars. There are various sterile pieces of equipment everywhere. Um, there's a while there is a kind of a scroll that has Chinese keys on it and the locations of all of them. It's very clean. It's framed, and there are uh, it's directly next to like an ear, nose, and throat thing that you would find in a normal medical facility. That points to all of it. Like, it's very confusing. There's a lot of clashing feelings going on in here. And the small jingle goes off above you guys as you enter the door. And you hear a voice call from the back. Just sign in. I'll be with you in a moment.
Roger, Roger. Jenny just goes over and starts signing in. If there's a condition, she's just gonna put down, like, reason for visit, she's just gonna put down consultation.
That's where they get you. And they're going to be selling you fucking timeshares and tea.
Okay, look, dude, when have I ever taken you to a place that sold timeshares and not warned you that I was throwing you to the wolves for timeshares beforehand?
Yeah, I get that, but this place smells so bad. I'll
Okay,
take
no,
the
it does
sewers
not smell
any
that
day. It smells like...
It
what's
smells
that?
better than your
It
bar.
actually does not smell that bad. It doesn't smell like somebody just took the entire Kohl's counter perfume area and sprayed it in your face at the same time. It actually has a very sterile smell to it. It smells like a doctor's clinical office.
Oh, okay, my bad.
No, you're fine. It's more of a revelation to Jack in and of itself. Like, wait,
Yeah, you can.
there's
you
no
can
essential
psych yourself
oils
out.
in the air.
You can psych yourself out for smells no bad. Also, I'm pretty sure someone spilled an entire like bag. If they probably had an essential oil salesman, they threw out the door last week, and that's why the front step smells like it. All the bottles went smash, and the $80 bottle, 1 ounce bottle of lavender oil that Jack just went everywhere.
So you see you hear a small set of steps coming up, and a very short but very slim black woman comes out with her hair pulled back in kind of a ponytail. It poofs out a little at the back, and it's very clear that she doesn't take care of it as well as somebody, some other people might. But at the same point, she has a lab coat on. She has a set of pens and pencils in her pocket, as well as what looks to be some sort of like a cinnamon stick. And you see her snapping off a pair of gloves and throwing it in the trash as she comes up to you and grabs a clipboard off of the table and, Jenny, wonderful to see you again.
As always.
You remember this woman as Dr. Wilsfield,
Trying to put a note somewhere.
a doctor,
Wilfield.
yep, a doctor of alternative medicine.
Glad I'm home.
Oh,
She-
nice to see you, Dr. Wilfield.
It's always a pleasure. And who have you brought with you today?
My friend, meet Pomegranate. He's
Looks
a skeptic.
looks at you for a moment and kind of narrows her eyes behind a set of glasses.
Doctor, what are you a doctor of?
Your 3 out of your 6 cheese are blocked. I suggest a rigorous exercise routine as soon as you get home. Probably something with a treadmill, and balance that out with a little bit of sauna time with a sage bush. It'll help out a lot.
Is she speaking to Jack or Jenny?
Jack.
Oh, Doc,
Talking about chi blocks, I'm probably one whole chi block at this point.
Look, Doc, the only
Chief
thing
Rick.
that begins with the block and the letter C is a block I'm interested in. So, I'm good there, Doc. You didn't answer my question. What are you a doctor of?
Oh, I have my PhD in alternative medications and its practical applications.
Oh, okay.
That is an actual degree, Jack. You can get it at an actual college.
That's. I'm not saying it's not. Just asking a question.
So
Why is it that you believe in demons and floaty things, but someone comes along with alternate medicine and you're...
I feel like in, I don't know, I don't want to rain on Sarge's parade here, but I and his storytelling, but I guess in my headcanon for the setting, this is totally OOC, by the way, that the old occulty types wouldn't necessarily mix well with the new age.
Oh yeah, no, there's
witchy
definitely
types.
every tradition has its kind of antithesis. You, in particular, would most likely practice something close to Hermetical tradition, like either traditional Jewish or Christian thaumaturgy type stuff. Very ritualistic, uses a lot of symbols, tries to associate things. It's very English, right? But as you start getting into a wider world, you start having, again, like Chinese mysticism, where it's more about the association of spirit and mind than it is on the practical, almost formalistic rituals. You also have things like voodoo, which again is more of a spiritualistic connection with the spirits around you and how they interact with each other and yourself.
Weirdly Christian.
And weirdly Christian. So each tradition has its own kind of foundation, but I could definitely see almost like rival colleges that each tradition would have like that one tradition that's complete bullshit to them, and most likely what Jack practices is very antithesis with quote unquote holistic medicine.
Okay, and let me know, Sarge, if I'm dive bombing your story building
No,
because I don't want to do that. Okay.
No. I love it when
No,
you guys take some kind of area of something we haven't defined yet and start putting meaning to it. I'm totally fine with that.
And out of character, I don't have any problem with it. Jenny's just doesn't know enough about magic to know about the nuances of, like, she's essentially saying, what do you mean you don't like symphonic metal? You like power metal? Like,
it's practically the same thing. And Jack's like, no, it's not.
No, listen, when I need to heal something, no, I don't need a block of cheese to clear my chi.
No. I'm sorry. Block of cheese is if you're dealing with some type of fungal infection.
Well, thanks, Doc.
No.
I'm
hungry.
So with that, we're going to cut over to Clarence and Max. Now that you guys have your introduction, how are you guys going to be getting to the streets of Spring Valley? Is there anything in particular that you're looking for?
Max is probably just gonna go to the most recent place that, like, they were hanging around the last time that they didn't have an actual house to stay in. I'm assuming we're just walking there, but I also have not Googled Map to see how far that is. But, like, the sheen of sweat is gonna make us look more like we belong there than if we step out of a fucking Uber. So.
Okay. Clarence, are you going to be taking the Hickmobile?
What? Why'd you just call it a Hickmobile?
It's a classic Ford F-150 wide body type that is amazing on the ranch and has great torque. It is a classic, I will have you know.
Yeah, but its nickname is the Cow Tipper.
The Cow Tipper, that's it.
Of course.
Alright, so you guys pack up. The last place that you've in particular been to, Max, is St. John the Evangelist's halfway house. It's a Christian place, or Catholic more specifically. But they weren't half bad. You found out, through various conversations you had there in the brief stay, that John the Evangelist is the patron saint of caregivers, which kind of matches up with their mission. They were nice people, a little pushy with the religion, but it was a warm bed and hot food.
That's the truth. What we're gonna do.
Yeah. So you guys pack up and head over to Spring Valley, and it is it's also kind of wedged in. It's more of a long Chicago-style brick building setup, where it's several buildings in a row that are all kind of merged via brick. And this one just seems to have its space painted white to kind of push itself away from the other brick settings. Red windowsills, and just kind of a very, very old, faded, hand painted sign of John the Evangelist's sigil, I think it's called, icon. um, and just the words, halfway house. The door's open, and when you guys go in, it's a very classic hardwood. That kind of really warped ancient hardwood that when you step on it, it creaks, but you don't actually feel it give. It's like that really faded varnish on it from a lot of use, and just a kind of a booth with a clouded, slightly clouded glass or plastic kind of separation frame. And there's a very old woman sitting with a book behind it.
Hey, are you, Hi, I'm Max. I'm looking for somebody. I was wondering if you could maybe help me.
Okay. She kind of, if you want to imagine Muriel from Courage the Cowardly Dog, this is about the same feel. Very, very tight curls, little tiny glasses, and she kind of folds her book down and puts it up. Oh, dearie, oh, it's a wonder to have you in here today. You said who are you looking for?
Um, Out of character, Vex does not remember this person's name.
You did not get one, I don't think.
Great. We just got that they're 20-something swamp wedge.
Yep.
Cool.
Bog hag, swamp witch, potato
Join
potato.
Black Tag Union. We have dental.
Yeah, listen, this is gonna sound weird. I was a friend of a friend. I don't have their name or anything, but they're like 20s, and listen, they're into some like occult stuff. They're like,
Who isn't in this day and age, dearie?
I mean, that's fair. You make a good point.
I'm hip with the times. It's okay. Everybody's got a little magic in them, dear.
That's why this is the best place.
Do you think
Well,
milking
like-
a cow is magic? Just, I gotta ask.
She kind of leans forward a little bit with the very like matronly feel, like she's about to impart some great wisdom to you. God doesn't give us skills that aren't magic themselves.
Right. Yep, definitely. This person is a little bit less keen on the God-given skills, though. She's a little bit more about the, otherwise wookity woo.
Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate that.
Bless your heart. She kind of like reaches under real quick and just pats your hand. Looks back to Max. We've had a few people around here that kind of fit that description. Do you have any details? Do you know their name? Even what they look like? Maybe we could try and narrow it down a little bit. We're always trying to make sure that people have contact with their friends.
My friends were not very descriptive. I realize it's real unhelpful.
I tell you what. Why don't you come back? Come to the hall, and I'll see what I can find out. And she kind of gets up and opens. There's a very old, like 70s style panel door there. Opens it up, invites you in, and there's what looks to be like a small kitchenette off to the right hand side as soon as you get in. Very clean, but it's also very sterile. Kind of leads you in, puts on a pot of coffee. Just help yourself, dears. I'll be right back.
Thank you.
Okay. So, coffee's brewing. What do you guys think? You guys gonna talk to each other?
Well, this is gonna be the worst search in history. Looking for fucking magic.
I don't know about that. See, a few weeks ago we had to go searching through a sewer and it
Yeah.
it smelled to high hell. It was pretty. Oh, I'm sorry, heck, it was pretty bad.
I could see him like crossing himself real quick, giving a kiss, and just pointing upward. I'm sorry, baby Jesus.
Sarcastically half. Okay, whatever, sure.
I'm just appreciating not having to, smell bad.
That's that was the story. Okay, yep, nope. Smelling nice is good. I do agree with you on that one. Great.
I'm loving Max already. This is great. So the coffee comes up. Would you guys like to grab a cup?
Sure.
Okay, so you get through a cup and a second cup, third cup. So, so you're waiting a bit. That pot's starting to get pretty low, and eventually she comes back around, and she has a wide smile on her face. I think I might have found what you're looking for.
Oh, really?
I called around to some of the other residences and to see if there was anything revolving around some weird hoodoo, as you put it. And I think there's definitely been a report of a young Hispanic woman that seemed to be chanting something. We don't know what was going on. All we know is that it started stinking to high heaven as soon as she started doing it. And it only really happened. There were a few altercations. That's the only real reason that anybody remembers her. Is somebody tried to, I think one of them tried to, get the little pinch on the bottom, get a little feel. And needless to say, he has a rash now that just won't go away.
I mean, he kind of deserves it. But alright, cool.
We're not talking like red rash. We're talking like it's green and growing offshoots.
Right, yep, no, that's definitely, that would be the person we are looking for. Thank you so much.
Not a problem. There was we just want to help. That's all. We want to make sure. Obviously, she kind of looks at you for a moment, and for that briefest glance between you and Clarence, that kind of flash in the back of her eyes, like I know exactly what you're doing. And I'm helping you because you need to be helped, not because I believe anything you're telling me. Because people don't just come in and start asking for random people, not by name, have no definitions, anything like that. And she's like,
Nope.
just promise me that you'll help her.
Yeah. We will.
Okay, because I have ways
help
of finding
you.
out otherwise.
Yeah, I know. We're good. We're gonna help with the green raft situation, ideally.
So the last place that they were seen, she gives you a little bit more information, is not in the sewer itself, actually, but one of the other homeless shelters in the area. Goes by New Hope Observatory. It's one of those newfangled churches in their outreach program. And that was the last place that she was seen. And that's where the guy has the rash that is definitely not going away. So she gives this information. She looks over at Clarence and she'd be like, "You're not the type of young men to go around pinching bottoms, are you? Because this might not be the chase for you."
No, ma'am, but I do need to use a bathroom if you don't mind. 3 cups of coffee just runs right through me.
Totally understand. It's right. The loo's right around the corner, and kind of motions to where it is.
Well, thank you, ma'am.
She looks over at Max while he walks away. It's like, "You take care of that one. He is a rare treasure."
Yep. Thank you.
I'm going to write that down. I like her.
Yeah, no, she's great.
Alright. Come back out of the bathroom. We ready to go?
Yeah.
Alright.
I'm gonna text our other cohorts and be like, hey, yo, we got a lead. We're going here. If you don't hear from us, come eventual bodies or whatever.
Or at least bring some antifungal.
Right?
God,
Hey,
if we don't hear from you, we need new roommates.
Can you set the GPS? I don't know how to work that.
Yeah, I got.
Okay, thank you. Pull out the choke in the car. I'm really trying to start the engine, you know. You should.
And with a mighty backfire, it finally roars to life. And about 8 different car alarms go off around you.
Yes. Yep.
Bang!
Should have seen the windshield I broke last week.
So you guys hightail. I'm assuming you guys hightail it over to New Hope.
Yeah.
Yeah, hightail it as fast as this thing will go.
Okay. When you guys get to New Hope Observatory, there's a lot more of a crowd than you anticipated. And it probably has to do with the 4 ambulances and police tape that are around the entire area. As well as the people in hazmat suits. There's a lot of activity. There's a lot of sirens. There's a lot of lights going off. It is very active.
This don't look good.
No, it does not. Oh, God. Alright, well.
MIB.
You think we should try to go in?
I think we can try, but,
All right,
pretty
here's.
sure the cops are gonna have something
I
to say
saw
about
I
that.
saw this on TV last week on one of them shows. I'll pretend to be FBI and you can be my partner.
Pretty sure that's worse. Pretty sure that's definitely worse.
Now, I love role-playing with you guys. Do keep in mind in the back of your head what your aspects are. If you feel that you are complicating the scene using one of those aspects, and I haven't noticed it or called you on it, let me know, because then I can award you fate points for essentially being compelled. You're acting in your character in order to make sure that the scene's a bit more complicated than it first comes off. The only reason I remember that is because you said I saw this on TV once, and that is actually one of Jack's aspects. And I'm like, I wanted to go in and compel it. I'm like, wait, that's not the character
Not
that has
my
that on it. And I don't think there's a way to compel other people's aspects on your character.
Is there any press on the scene? Like, do we notice any cameras or newspapers?
Yes. Yep. There's at least 3 separate teams.
How about, instead of, impersonating federal agents, we just impersonate the press? Say we have some fucking online blog or something about halfway houses and their effect on the community or some fucking bullshit. Because then, we won't get arrested if someone finds out we're lying.
How is it you had a more boring idea than mine?
Damn.
Oh, wow.
Woo.
Have fun, Clarence.
No, we'll do it your way. You're the smart one.
I don't know, you can get milk out of a cow without having it kick you. That's magic, right?
You ever been kicked by a cow?
Jesus. Oh, man.
That was the bad time to take a drink.
So Clarence, go ahead and take a fate point for really sticking with brawn over brain as your aspect. And Max, go ahead and take one as well for no fucks left to give. Because that was very much...
my
You know what?
favorite
Fuck
song.
you. I'm going home. I don't care if you drove.
I will walk if I have to.
Why don't you... I wish there was like a common sense statistic.
We don't have those here.
Yeah.
Oh, fresh out.
God, alright, hold on. I need to figure out something here real quick. Max, roll me Socialite, and Clarence, roll me, we'll say Organizer. Using this as more of a knowledge skill than anything.
I am stunningly average.
Okay.
Solid.
So Clarence, you're getting the kind of the grasp of how this is organized. You see the police, you see people being reported to. You're watching the press as they kind of cover what's going on. But nothing really stands out as anything that you'd be able to readily get information from. For Max, however, you kind of stop and think about it, and you're seeing, everybody talking amongst themselves. And the first thing you think of is the best way to find out anything at a Ren fair is to gossip about it. Because somebody will correct you eventually.
Yeah, that's true. Start spouting off the wrong shit, somebody's gonna be like, I know more than that.
The best way to get the correct answer online is to make a post with the incorrect information in it, and you will be corrected very quickly. So maybe ask around, see if anybody knows what happened or what's going on.
Cool. I love this plan. Definitely gonna wander up to the nearest gaggle of press people. Just be like, hey, so yeah, the drugs in this place, it's really wild, huh? Yeah, I heard they found a huge stack out in the dumpster out back.
Can you roll me? Roll me influencer.
Sure can! There's a reason that's my highest stat.
Oh my god. Oh man.
Yes!
Alright. So the way you present it, as you know, is much more important than what you're actually presenting.
Yeah.
And the sort of fake authority that you come into this with had 6 heads whipping around in your direction and a microphone being put in your face going, oh, so you know some more information about this. They haven't released anything to us yet. You say there's drugs in the facility? Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, they're totally out in the back alley. Definitely back there.
So why
It's
would
really
they...
easy to get to because there's no cops.
Why would the police leave such crucial evidence on the scene?
You know, that's a great question. We should really question the police about this, about the negligence going on in the situation.
You see there's kind of a light bulb that goes off on the person's head, and she's like, that is an amazing idea. Lawrence, follow me. We're about to get the biggest scoop of the year, and goes through the fucking yellow tape. And there's somebody... Yep. Clarence, are you moving with Max to sneak along with this press posse?
Hey, wait up!
Come on! Come on, Claire.
So with that, we will scooch back to the holistic clinic as the Max and Clarence get themselves into trouble.
I imagine the same creepy music is playing that they play in my doctor's office, which is weird, meditative. But they're not playing it through the speakers; they're playing it through the phone. In each room.
Actually,
Straight
no.
up.
It's like the local '90s pop station.
Huh, that is weird.
Yeah, it's super low, so it doesn't really mix with anything. Like, it doesn't impede on anything. But there is the slight rhythm going up top.
So that's preferable because my actual doctor's office does that, and it's creepy.
Yeah.
Just
So-
sitting in the office alone for an hour. I'm like, am I being brainwashed right now? Brainwashed?
So Dr. Wilsfield looks between the both of you and goes, I see that neither of you are suffering with any particular affliction, so
Aside from the normal ones? No, actually, we're here on behalf of someone else. Possibly.
Interesting. Should they not make an appointment? It's hard to treat someone when you can't see them.
Well, we haven't found them yet. We got a baby, Sparky Boom, child of the sun, going on, running around the sewers, possibly, and
I see.
we've been tasked to make outreach with them, and rather than giving them one option, as you know, you always give me like 6 pamphlets every time I have to go for something, so that I'm fully educated on the subject because you know my kinks.
All too well.
Yeah. So, I was wondering if you happen to have any pamphlets we could give him for that kind of. So you've discovered you can cause rips in reality. Kind of pamphlets that we can give them more than one option, just so we can hopefully get them to not be running around the sewers, half crazed and terrified.
She, as you're talking, uh, she starts frowning, and as you keep going, the frown just gets deeper and deeper, creased into her face until it's almost like it's cut out of marble. And she goes, "Oh, I see. So my profession, as it were, is now reduced to that of pamphlet giver."
Or if you know any good resources or anything, stuff like that. I also need to refill my vitamin D prescription again. And I thought I could get a 2-for-1 and then pick up my prescription and then also get some information if you haven't.
I told you your vitamin D can be easily gotten by drinking Sunny D, if that's what you want.
Yeah, but the 5,000 a week is what I need. Let's be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I can't drink enough Sunny D to make up for the lack of sun.
Jack is finger tapping him.
Finger tapping is what? Sorry, you cut out.
Oh, Jack is finger tapping on his side.
Okay.
In a very rhythmic, biting tongue.
Okay.
I mean, I can look elsewhere. It was just kind of the first thing that popped in mind is normally with doctors' offices and stuff like that, they tend to have those kind of like community outreach stuff available. Like
normally we do, but there is patient patient-doctor confidentiality that I must adhere to. It's very difficult to discuss somebody's conditions with somebody who is not that person. However,
true, but there's business cards.
There are. Let me see what I can do. I'm currently working on something, so it may take a bit longer than normal. You wouldn't happen to know anything about, and she rattles off a Latin phrase. It's some sort of fungus from the Amazon. I'm trying to research quickly.
Cephalopods?
No.
They're not cephalopods. What is it? Cordyceps?
No.
Oh, I'm playing The Last of Us. Okay.
From everything I can tell from the sample, it is essentially tree bark fungus, but it was growing on somebody.
That's weird. No, I don't know that off the top of my head. Have we gotten the message from the other people yet, or?
Not yet. What's up, Jack?
Hey guys, can we pause just for just pause for one quick
Absolutely,
second.
we can cut to commercial break. Everybody,
real quick, guys. I'm sorry, kind of an emergency popped up. Let me.
You're fine. Don't worry about it. Take 10. Everybody, bio break if you need to. Grab some water. And I will cut the stream real quick. We will be back in 10 whole minutes.
10 whole minutes.
Game. That way everybody can come right back in to where we left off. I've been looking over your guys' sheets real quick. Hey, Jack.
Yeah.
You're hearing a lot of occult terms. And you're not 100% that this person really knows what they're talking about at this point. And I think your aspect of, will the real Constantine please stand up, is almost a pride thing right now. I feel like you should get a fate point if you start kind of looking at this as maybe there's somebody impersonating. This is a nice shop. Everything looks good, but it's still the same type of holistic medicine that you've seen practiced on, 1 a.m. infomercials.
Yeah.
Now, you can either take the point and add it to your pool, and then act in a way that would complicate the scene, which Jack tends to do naturally, so I figured I'd at least reward you with it. Or you can pay a fate point to essentially dismiss the compel, and give yourself, basically it's you telling yourself, no, I can't do this right now, there's too much riding on it. Kind of not overriding your personality, but thinking better of it.
I'm going to take the fate point.
Okay. So that tapping doesn't manifest it in anything?
No, it's manifesting my...
Oh, you cut out, my friend.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead. It manifests as, and then it dropped off.
Oh, it manifests as my nerves being calmed. It's just a rhythmic, therapeutic thing So I'm just waiting. Jack's waiting for the right moment to just kind of step in. He's waiting for her to say one more thing, or it almost happened right before I called for break when she, before you even tempted me, when she said about my job being, succumb to pamphlets.
All right.
So I was wait for you to do what you're gonna do.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well.
South African or South American fungus.
Mm-hmm.
Tree bark growing on a dude? Really?
Yeah, it's been very strange. I'm not sure if I'm not supposed to talk about it, but at some point I'm drawing up a question mark as to how it could happen. It's clearly magical in nature. I just can't pin the pieces together.
Not,
I'm sure we'll be able to.
Not demonic in nature, or, some sort of wood imp by nature. I mean, there's no such thing as forest nymphs, right? Just my 2 cents. Sorry, Doc.
No, there are. There just were no traces of any type of fairy dust that would normally be associated with glamours or fey type spells.
Oh yeah. Just I thought with your sunny, the bark. I'm sorry. I'm just Jenny here's talking to you. I'm sorry.
So she kind of narrows her eyes a little bit and leans back. Okay, so simply because I can give sound medical advice automatically discounts my presence and the work I do?
No, I didn't say that, Doc. I was just offering some sense from an actual, magical perspective.
Actual. Oh, pom pom.
Okay, so she takes a moment and looks down and gets that kind of look on the face where you're considering about 8 different violent actions and you can't pursue any of them. So you're trying to come up with a way to react to the situation that's not going to kill everybody. And she
Jenny's
goes...
eye is twitching with the high blood pressure. That's probably the reason why she needs the vitamin D.
So she steps forward to you. I'm assuming she looks up at you. I imagine Jack is a much taller type of person, right? Okay.
Jack keeps his hands in his pockets with his fingers still just tapping away on the outer rim of the pocket just so he doesn't give off an intimidating vibe.
Okay. And she goes, all right then. Let's, What would you say it is then? Why don't you come back and take a look at it, Mr. Magician?
I'm... Doc, I'm not going to impede on your,
oh, no, please, I insist.
No, Doc,
Come on. Come on in the back. And she
Doc,
turns around and starts waving both of you forward into the back room. No, since you're an expert, please, by all means, let's go take a look at it, and then disappears around the corner.
Jenny's just gonna follow and just kind of put a nice firm, the back of the scruff of the neck grab. Just kind of start leading him back there and just go, oh, no, let's find out where this goes. Let's find out.
As Jack's finger tapping, he's slowly moving his thumb to carve into his skin, just enough to prick blood from it.
Gotcha.
If you'd like me to roll the sleight of hand, I can do that.
Please, by all means, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Sleight of hand. Sleight of hand, I could do professional.
Professional would be good. Yep.
Two.
Okay. Yeah, I would say you managed to do it. At least you feel like you pulled it off.
Yep. While Jack's walking back, he is slowly making the symbol for summoning Succo into his pocket. Just in case.
Just in case?
Just in case.
Okay. Have you done this before? Summoned them into your pocket?
Sure. And he knows the symbol. It's not hard to do.
Okay. So I should ask, are you summoning him right now, or is this more of a preparation?
No, he hasn't called in the incantation. It's just in preparation.
Gotcha. Okay. So you guys walk into the back into what looks distinctly like a doctor's office. Like, it is not... The only thing that would really kind of separate it out from anything that would be more of a holistic setting is the jars of very strange-looking ingredients that line the walls. But again, they're all very sterile. They match. It is... everything seems well contained as the way it's supposed to be. You see, Eye of Newt next to disposable tongue dispensers. A little bit further back past the bed itself, there's actually a set of There's a microscope as well as a centrifuge, a couple other pieces of medical equipment that maybe you have or have not seen before. And currently there is a set of petri dishes that are inside of a vent, under a vent hood. One of which looks exactly like. Have you guys ever seen, for out of character, you guys seen the tree bark that has kind of the mushrooms growing out of it? And it looks almost like shelves. It's like that, but vertical inside of the petri dish. And then there's another petri dish directly next to it, which isn't growing anything. And she kind of turns around and motions to it and goes, okay, well, if you'd like to take a look at it, I will certainly appreciate your expert opinion on the matter.
Jack looks over, looks up and down the park. Roll an occultist check to see if I pick up on anything.
Yeah, go ahead.
While he's looking at that, can Jenny just kind of look over and go, so where'd you get the sample from?
There was an accident apparently. She's leaning over, whispering this to you. There was an accident of some sort downtown in the Summer Valley area, and they're not sure what happened, but apparently there's a gentleman that started growing this, and they're treating it fairly seriously. As one of the only medical practitioners of magic around here, it's they kind of looped me in.
Huh.
Okay.
By the way.
So 4 on your occultist check. She actually had it on the nose. There is no real indication of demonic or fey style spells on it. In fact, from what you can kind of tell, this is almost, it feels like a transportation spell almost. That this was already growing on something and then it was essentially put onto somebody else. Or integrated with it. You're not really sure how it happened, but you have a feeling that the area that this came from, just a nagging thought in the back of your head, would probably be some sort of a swamp.
Hey, Doc.
Do
you want my opinion?
Oh, I certainly asked for it.
This is definitely some sort of
Sorry, you cut out, my dude.
Am I cutting out? What's
Yeah,
going on?
I'm not sure.
It's fine. My apologies,
No,
guys.
you're
Doc, this is some sort of transportation spell. I don't know if it's what you narrowed it down to with your sunny delight, but that's what I'm getting. Some sort of transportation spell, like as if it was some sort of it was growing on something in the swamp. This guy went walking, and it's sort of attached to him.
Interesting. And what would bring you to that conclusion? Would it be the prolific amounts of chloriphates that are normally associated with teleportation magic and imbued inside of the fungus itself? Would it be the fact that it seems like a fully functioning and grown fungi from, and rattles off the same Latin again, from the Amazon that you probably have never heard of before, let alone seen, that suddenly is growing imbued with skin? Did you take into account any of the magics that had to go into actually combining it with human cells?
No there, Doc. I actually, I know you got your science, and that's great. I that. Do me a favor when you're actually curious. But this is this is some actual arcane nonsense built on top of this. That's what I'm getting. You can look at a spell and deconstruct it just by looking at the cell. You know.
Hey, Pom Pom.
Yes.
You never told me you used to work as a grave digger, because you are really digging a fucking hole right now.
Well, you know, I'm saying she asked my opinion, and I'm giving. That's just about it.
She gets real close to you and looks up at you.
Hand still in pocket. I'm not about to show any.
So, how's that demon summoning coming?
Oh, I haven't actually done it yet.
I know. The blood actually filled up enough to try and draw. Why don't you go ahead and try?
I don't need to.
Are you sure?
I'm positive. I'm not threatened by you.
So if I would take this fungus, perhaps, and come up with some sort of holistic way to attach it, say, to your face.
I wouldn't recommend that.
Hmm? Okay.
Well,
Why not?
there, because the little shadow cat that hangs not going to be.
He's not going to be too happy. Am I going to
No,
spoil his supper?
I don't think you're. I don't think you're ready to deal with that, there, Doc. So why don't we just agree to disagree here and walk away from it? That's what I'm happy with.
She looks behind her because she's playing to one of her aspects now, and has been. I don't know if you noticed. So she kind of reached behind her and picks up the whole petri dish, and licks her thumb, which is a kind of a strange thing to do, and then drags it across the bottom of one of the fungal leaves and holds it up to you. And go, how close? How close am I going to have to get in order for you to summon that demon?
Jack's going to take a step back. Lady, let's just walk away from this. Neither you nor I want to do that. I promise you, I don't feel like going stick healers, as you call yourselves. I don't think you want to deal with my people. And we both know that magical warfare isn't the best thing.
Jack. Jack, pommy, palm fruit, thing that Persephone should not stick in her mouth.
Oh my goodness.
My dear, do remember that we're in her house.
That's why I'm saying
right now.
I'm going to apologize. I'll step back. And I am sorry if I offended you, Doctor. And you do what you got to do to treat that there tree man.
Take a moment and roll me another occultist check real quick.
Absolutely.
Now, I would like to say out of character, this is not me trying to step up and force you down. This is just how she is reacting to the situation.
Same though, I have no ill will. Jenny might be a crabby bitch, but I myself love every aspect of you, my pom-pom.
Okay.
I'm trying to find progressively more ways I can slaughter the word pomegranate.
So, Jack, you are in a situation that you haven't really felt before. And that is that you don't actually feel the sigil that you've carved. There's no power radiating through it anymore. At least before you stepped into this room.
Yeah.
Are we in a magical clean room?
Essentially, yes. She has to practice in a sterile environment, and that means sterile from everything. Which is why she licked her thumb before she did the fungal thing. That much you can kind of piece together, is that you're not entirely convinced still of her magical abilities, because you are a stubborn person, I would assume. However, the fact that you suddenly feel like that particular sigil isn't... Normally when you do any type of magic like that, you infuse the magic into the blood itself. And same thing with carving it into your skin, and bringing just a little bit of blood up to the surface is enough to basically connect you to that power. And where you're standing right now, before you moved into this room, you felt that. And it's very shocking to you to feel that that is not the case right now. I would actually like to give you an aspect of hers as basically a role-playing reward. Essentially, that's Dr. Voodoo to you. She takes her work very seriously, and doesn't really appreciate being told that she's kind of a hack or a charlatan, because she's had to fight against it for a long time. But as you kind of... I don't want to say you back down, because you certainly don't, but you do apologize, like you said. And she kind of... The tension leaves her shoulders a little bit, and she puts the petri dish back down and says, "That was childish, yes. I apologize as well."
No problem, Doc. It is what it is. Tell you what, if I ever need vitamin D or vitamin X or whatever it is you're selling these days, I will definitely come and purchase myself some vitamin XYZ from you there, Doc. That I promise. How's that
Something
sound?
tells me you have enough vitamin D already.
Oh my god. More like vitamin dick. Sorry.
Inappropriate, Sarge. There's people watching.
She.
I was trying to be subtle about my joke, but okay.
I am about as subtle as the Kool-Aid Man. You should know this by now.
Yeah.
She gets a little kind of frown on her face again, but she's like, "How about I just prescribe you penicillin to deal with the inflammation that's in your wrist from that sigil, because you don't need any vitamin D. You're sunny enough."
Thanks, Doc.
That being said, she turns back to Jenny and kind of motions to the fungus and says, that was sent to me like I told you. Apparently there was some sort of incident in Spring Valley, New Hope Observatory.
Write down real quick.
And around that time, you guys get a text from Max. What does it say, Max, by the way?
Hey, we're going to this place, and then a map pin drop. If you don't hear from us in, like, I don't know, an hour, come, like, avenge our bodies or something.
Jenny's just gonna pull it out, and they're gonna immediately text back. You wouldn't happen to be going there about fungus, would you? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Like, just immediately in, like, half a second. Like, creepy, like, if this was a flirtation, it would be an inappropriate amount of time. That would be desperation in the tone level of speedy response.
Just ... She's a fucking swamp witch. What else are we gonna be here for?
Well, you know, we didn't know that, but now we probably do. Not a bad guess. I'm just gonna look up and go, you wouldn't happen to know who caused this was done by someone, right? You wouldn't happen to know who did it, Doctor, would you? Because we might have some overlap here about who I'm grabbing those pamphlets for.
No, we know the only thing that the police gave me any indication was it was a young Hispanic woman had an altercation with this gentleman sometime last night.
Yes, about those pamphlets.
Her eyes kind of squint a little bit, and suddenly she, like, of course type of look on her face, like, yeah, that would make a certain amount of sense.
Yeah, it might be a baby witch. You know how baby cobras can't really control their venom?
That would explain a couple other things that I've gotten reports of here recently. Okay.
Jack's back to tapping.
She's gonna grab her clipboard again and start jotting some things down before she looks up at Jack. Jack, was it?
Something like that.
What's your tradition?
I'm sorry?
Your tradition. What's your magical tradition?
Ooh, I believe that's for me to know, and
I'm gonna guess, based off of what I felt of that sigil, some sort of mix between English Hermeticism and Jewish magic.
Close,
okay.
there, Doc. Very close.
Here, she is going to scribble something down. There's a lot of very wide motions, so it's clear she's not actually writing something, and tears a quick page off and hands it over to you, and says, "If you get in any type of trouble, this is going to be the antifungal remedy that you're going to need." Roll me. Actually, no. You would know this. This is pretty accurate. Actually, it has a few extra strokes that you personally would not have done, but you can see where the power lies in that it's not a protective spell. It's more of a banishment, and it's specifically focused on this strain of fungus. And its teleportation effects. It's oriented very specifically to the thing in the petri dish.
Good job, Doc. I appreciate that, and that's me being sincere.
I figure you'll know what to do with this.
Oh, I do. Your sigil work is above par.
I would hope so.
Not perfect, but it's above par.
Well, maybe we can talk about it sometime.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, All right. Would you happen? Hey, Doc. Would you think you can expedite some of those pamphlets or so? Just because we might be going to try to negate the situation. If we might have if this is an issue, we might have to speed up talking with her depending on where she's located. Just because my friends apparently are heading to that place that you got the fungus from.
Well then, that presents a problem. Let me see what resources I can find. She walks into a small office in the back. I'm sorry, kind of catty corner to all the office equipment. There's like basically a closet with a desk somehow wedged into it. And she pulls out an old school Rolodex and starts shuffling through real quick and pulls out 2 or 3 business cards and hands them to you and go, these are all people that have practitioned in something similar to whatever tradition she's practicing. I assume it's some sort of I can't tell based off of this specifically, but I believe it's Hispanic or Haitian in origin. It's either voodoo or it's where did I put it? Did I put it in here? I hope not. Oh, Bruja. That's it. It's either some sort of voodoo or Bruja. I'm not sure which.
I mean, would I know the history of voodoo as a closed? No, what I'm saying. No, I do not know what the history of voodoo is a closed practice. I know Jenny has no fucking clue if it isn't how Hollywood fucks up voodoo.
Yeah.
She knows a very good about history of how wrong it is in media and no idea how it's supposed to be, just that it's definitely not the glitter glam cabaret that she had to open for one year and may have minorly sabotaged more than one.
Okay.
Jack would understand though.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely. So basically, it kind of boils down to voodoo as a connection to the spirit world. On a very surface level, very, very basic, simple explanation, or essentially Hispanic magic, which is more of a connection to the earth, specifically with Bruja. It is also fucks with spirits, but not in the same way as voodoo does. They're more of a Catholic bent. That's why they have a lot of the Catholic style candles. But there is an entire magical I don't want to say culture, commune that kind of surrounds that idea. She can't tell which one it is, but I'm sure you guys will be able to figure out it very soon. The business cards that she hands you, though, are one of which you actually recognize as one of the women in the Sisterhood of the Dark Sun. So the very same people that you're trying to deliver the message for is essentially one of the I don't want to say movers and shakers, but if somebody's getting into their newfound magic, they seem to be somebody that is pretty knowledgeable about what's going on.
This makes sense. Well, I guess I do have pamphlets of some sort. I mumbled myself slightly. All right, thanks. This is really, really incredibly useful. Doc, is there any other recommendations you'd give us for avoiding, like, no offense, I'd rather not come back here being another patient for you of that thing. I'm sure a live sample is useful, but I don't think you want to see it develop. And by that I mean, I am not rich, and as much as I'm sure it's intellectually, absolutely fascinating to study this fungus, I don't think you want to prevent this from becoming an outbreak, and dealing with my broke ass in a sliding scale, trying to figure out how to keep me from infecting the entire city with fungus.
Oh yes, by the way, you still do owe me for that clinic visit for Naga poison.
Yup. Still paying it off. Once a month payment plan. Greatest thing you ever came up with.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of which, is it still supposed to hurt under the full moon? How long till that resolves? Or is that normal?
That's lycanthropy. Naga poison, if it was still in your system, you would most likely be itching as patches of your skin fall off and are replaced with scales. And your legs would eventually fuse together, and you would become a Naga.
I mean, on the plus side, that explains that rash and why it resolved with the medication.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, I should probably come back in for my lycanthropy booster shot.
Lycanthropy boosters. Oh man, it's like tetanus but worse. Oh man,
You don't
that's
want to know the
fantastic.
size of it. It's like the peanut butter shot that they have in the military. Where I have to like rock it in.
Oh, I'm so happy I missed that. I'm allergic to penicillin, so I never got that. It was fantastic. The rest of my fucking flight was waddling around like they had a stick up their ass for like 2 days. It was great.
My sister
Out
was
of
telling me
character.
stories.
Yeah.
Are you drinking out of a beaker?
Uh, it's an Erlenmeyer flask thing.
Okay. Okay.
I
Just wanted to clarify.
guess you got your answer.
There you go.
Hydration flask because we be sciencey up in this bitch.
Yep.
And also
Anything
that
is
I
a
can
hydro
accurately
flask.
keep track of how many milliliters of
Oh
blood.
my god.
I bought it from Michael's. It was the greatest
It
Halloween.
doesn't
It was
look like
after.
water.
So why don't you guys take an aspect if somebody wants to record this on their sheet? Essentially, it's a temporary aspect, either Jack or Maddie. Actually, both of you. You get one free tag on take two and call me in the morning.
Okay.
And that's basically going to indicate some type of bonus in combating whatever the swamp witch has to throw at you. Mainly preventative, but with Jack's skill, I'm pretty sure he could translate what she wrote down into something that could be offensive in nature if you rationalize it well enough.
Okay, I put
Sarge,
down.
I'd like to take a selfie.
Oh yeah, sure. What's up?
Let bygones be bygones.
I'm cool with that. You remember that time when I almost got into it with the practitioner?
Yeah. And we both backed down.
Can I ask a question?
What's up?
That is, I forget what selfies do.
So selfies are essentially a once per, I'm going to say hunt only because we're blocking this a bit differently than the book. Normally you, once per session, you would get essentially a small aspect that describes something that you did for that hunt. And it can be taken at any point in time. Any point in the future, for the rest of the game, however long this lasts, you'll be able to tag that for a +1 on any one of your rolls. So basically, but it has to apply. So in this case, if he starts getting into it with another practitioner, if he starts having to deal with, magical egos or something like that, he can be like, hey, you remember that time I got into it with the magical doctor? Yeah, I do too. I'm going to take a +1 on this check. And it just gives you like that little extra oomph. Lesson learned. TV lies, sewer smells bad. Yep. Oh god, that was a fun. Plus, it also serves as an interesting reminder of something during that session that really impacted you. In this particular case, Jack did not take a mask when going down into the sewers, nor any type of tiger balm or anything like that. It turned on him very fast. Clarence almost threw up, but he actually managed to keep it down. Barely. Okay, I like it. So with that, did you guys get what you wanted out of that? Are you going to be joining the main party?
Yeah, we got the stack of pamphlets, we got the aspect involved, and we're just gonna kind of like give a nod to the doc and go. If we find the person, do we want to try to get some notes on treatment or anything for you for the fungus, or?
If they go to any one of those 3 business cards, I'll be seeing them. Don't worry.
All right, that works. If we find they've infected anybody else, do you want? Can I have a couple of your business cards if you want me to give them to them?
I'm sure they'll let me know too. Thankfully, the CDC managed to contain this one fairly fast. Their magical practitioners are second to none when it comes to infectious properties.
Should we bring gas masks or?
You're in here, aren't you?
True. Alright.
She then proceeds to kind of look at her thumb real quick, which still has all the fungus on it, and just kind of put it in her mouth real quick and pull it out.
Ugh.
Slight after flavor of Bruja? Starts scribbling down notes as she turns back around to the petri dish.
Alright. Jack, I believe we need to call another Uber. Probably not your friend, or melancholic friend.
Oh, we could call Chad Shadows. If you got somebody, I'll let you.
Yeah.
Hey, Doc. Hey, Doc. Nice meeting you.
It was an interesting meeting.
Mm.
I'm so sorry.
She doesn't seem mad, but it's definitely she doesn't mince words. So she's just telling the truth. It wasn't good, it wasn't bad, but it was definitely probably one of the more interesting things that's happened over the last couple weeks for her. Besides, an Amazonian fungus appearing on somebody's skin in Las Vegas.
Yeah, normally it's just like the standard, everyday, normal weird happenstances.
So,
Yeah, like,
do you guys kind of head out while you're discussing whether or not to call an Uber or call Chad or anything like that?
Probably on our way to the door as we start discussing that, I imagine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you got here, there was only one other car. It was a very blasé looking, say like a Ford Taurus or something like that. Very kind of mid-class car. Easily lost in the crowd. When you start walking out and you're trying to figure out who to go with for it, there's a 1950s Bel Air taxi sitting next to the curb. The windows are super dark tinted. It's running, and it looks like it was straight out of like the movie Taxi Driver with fucking Robert De Niro. Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was De Niro. Yep. But you can't see anything in it.
Huh.
Well,
That's a little fortuitous and grim.
Jenny, let's pretend that I didn't.
Honestly, though, I am too tired and too lazy to call an Uber at this point. Fuck this shit, I'm out. I'm gonna knock on the door of the taxi.
Before you do, Bob, what were you saying? You cut out.
I said, hey, Jenny, and I didn't pretend I.
Technical
Sorry, I can see it.
Sorry. Hey, Jenny, let's pretend I didn't study English at the local college. Let's pretend I don't know what true this means. What does that mean, Jenny?
Fortuitous?
Yes.
Fortunate, meaning of good fortunes, but it seemed I was meaning that in a sarcastic sense, aka it is weird that a taxi has shown up here. Jenny says while she's kind of knocking on the taxi and the familiar are, because you don't want to just open the door in case they're on their break. Like, this is the perfect lot to come in and take a coffee break in. So you don't want to just open the door, hop in, and go like, take me to so-and-so. That's how you get serial killers. So she's gonna do the normal polite knock, knock, knock. Of are you open for fare or not?
All right, so you guys, as you knock on the window, the mirrored window itself rolls down, and there is a plume of smoke that rises up from it.
Yep, smoke.
It is the stanky dank that you immediately recognize, and there is a black gentleman with long dreads, very Jamaican, knitted cap on, and he has the blunt hanging from his lips, and he goes, I heard you needed a ride.
Yeah, fuck it. I quote my aspect here. Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Fuck this shit,
yeah.
Yep.
Fuck it. Yep, we need a ride.
I'll go ahead and let you have a fate point for that one. That was pretty good. Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Jenny hops in the back. Fuck it. If he kills me, I don't have to deal with this anymore. Either we're right or it's not my problem.
His face lights up with that big Denzel Washington style smile of just all teeth, and he's like, all right, we can dig this. What about you, big man? You getting in?
Jack's gonna go with an aspect of the see this on TV once. Hey, he saw this on TV once. Either he's gonna kill me or he's gonna lose magical. Some lot of money is gonna be. I'm hopping in the car.
Yeah.
Not even question. It's just
Okay.
we give them the address that was shown on the map and go, yeah. So don't remember calling for a cab, but perfect timing on that one anyway. So.
Let's just say that the word gets around fairly quickly. I'm really good at what I do.
Yeah. I'll say. You got
All
a
right.
card or?
No, not necessarily. I know a lot of people. Word of mouth, pretty essentially. He kind of puts the blunt back in his mouth, shifts it, and starts going in a completely different direction than you guys would think to go towards Spring Valley.
Well, I mean, if he buries us in the desert, we still don't have to worry about utilities, just like we won't have to if he drives us to our actual location and we complete this job. Either way, utilities are not our problem anymore. I'm just gonna text the others in the group, possibly being kidnapped. Maybe late.
Maybe late.
If we are not back in 3 days, feel free to sell my shit.
Jack, there's something off about this car. Actually, about everything. It feels off. You're not sure how. It doesn't feel demonic because you've been around, oh crap, what's his name?
Sucko.
Sucko, that's it. You've been around Sucko so much that you're starting to pick up on like what the feeling of demonic energy feels like to you. It's not that. There's no type of glamour magic. A quick feel around doesn't bring anything of note. You're really unsure of what's going on. And it's even more impactful when you guys turn toward essentially a tunnel. It is an overpass that kind of curves under itself, but is completely dark. There's almost nothing there. And for what it's worth, the taxi driver is, trying to make small talk. He's but it's just so awkward. It's difficult to make anything stick. Any direct questions that you ask him about who he is or where he came from or how he heard, it's very slippery. He kind of dodges out of the question. Pleasant dude. And what's even more interesting is when you go into the dark area and you come out of the next side, there's a small gate of light, and as you guys drive back out, it's the same city. But you guys are really close to New Hope Observatory.
Damn, could we teach Clarence that trick?
Hey, mic check. Can you guys hear me a little better?
Yeah, much
I
better.
didn't want to interrupt.
No, you're fine, man.
Hey, Mon. That was good driving. I appreciate that.
Not a problem. You find shortcuts all across the city if you look hard enough.
This is definitely one of my more interesting drives. Does Jack notice anything magical about the drive itself? Like, not the actual driver, but the physical, the action of driving.
Travel itself, yeah.
Yes.
Not so much. It's all off somehow. The seats are a bit too firm. It's a bit too warm in here. Things seem to be going by a bit faster than what you would normally associate. Like, you could be going, like, you know how if you're looking out something and you see the things go by, and you kind of associate with speed. Well, you don't feel to be going that fast, but things are going by at like 1 or 2 miles per hour, you can guess, faster than what would normally be going on. You also should be able to see out of these tinted windows as clearly as you're able to be. There's almost no indication of any type of tint from the inside looking out. But from when you're looking at it from the outside, it's completely mirrored. There is no seeing inside. Even the windshield itself is mirrored. It's very interesting.
Is that illegal in several states?
Oh yeah, 100%. So the 50s cab pulls up to the side of the road. Max, Clarence, you guys immediately notice it. It's like it stands out, but it doesn't seem like anybody else around you notices it at all. And out pop Jack and Jenny. And you look at your phone and look back up at the car. You only sent that text like, a minute or two ago. You were on the opposite side of the city.
How much do we owe you for the cab ride, dude? Because that was an impressive run.
Don't worry, we'll square up later.
I would like to point out that anything that involves my immortal soul must be negotiated beforehand, before rendering of surfaces.
Trust me, we're not after that.
Alright.
Word.
Can I take a picture of the cab, preferably with the license plate?
Yes.
Great.
Alright, man. Well, thanks for the ride, dude.
Not a
Jenny
problem.
Tries to hand him a 10 as a tip.
He holds his hand up.
Jenny.
Consider this one on the house.
Jenny, I don't think he accepts money.
I know, but I still have to offer. It is the law of hospitality.
Mhm.
Actually, do you have some quarters? I'm short.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Oh.
I just need 2.
Yeah, of course
bus
you
fare.
do. And Jack reaches into his pocket and pulls out 2 quarters and hands them to him heads up. And he cracks a joke under his breath. Thanks, ferryman.
Ah.
He kind of gives a quick signal off of his eyebrow and drops the change into the quarter. Those damn parking meters, man. And then rolls up his window and gently glides off.
How are we not dead? Am I
There's
dead?
Vegas is a weird town, Jenny, with a lot of weird people and a lot of weird things
Dude,
happening.
trust me, I've been to the art gallery. Have you been to an art opening? You've met the people I hang out
I've
with.
met, there's a line in a Bill and Ted movie. There's some strange things going on at the Circle K. Well, there's some strange things going on in front of a holistics building when we need it.
Taxi of requirements. I can't say it's the worst thing that's ever occurred in front of that place.
It was a good ride. It was a good ride. I've had a much, much worse.
Yeah.
Should have seen Chad's old ride. He used to have one of those rice cooker engines that was really loud. It was awful. I'll take those rides any day. Thank you, that man. Oh, hey, look, it's our friends. The Ghoul Scouts are reunited.
Hey guys, so we just took the weirdest cab ride of my life, and that is saying something because I had to share a cab ride with a professional clown.
So as you're
and
walking
a
up,
drag king one.
to talk to Max and Clarence, a police officer steps between you guys as you approach the yellow tape that Max and Clarence are on the opposite side of. And he looks at both Jack and Jenny and go, "I'm sorry, man. Press only beyond this point."
Oh, did you not know who I am?
No.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, officer. They're running behind. There are other journalists from our paper. Could you
Yeah,
please-
we work with her.
Yeah.
He kind of
Nice.
looks. He looks very pointedly at Clarence for a moment, and then at the rest of you.
Dude, Clarence just carries the heavy equipment when we need it.
Yeah, we need one of the production assistants to help carry camera equipment. And, you got to find cheap labor somewhere, and our blog
And then
is
they downgraded us to using freaking iPhones and cameras for most of the equipment, so we've kind of just made an excuse for him to keep coming along because we feel bad and don't want him to lose his job.
And we're
I haven't been
technically a
paid in 2
501.
weeks.
We're technically a 501c, so we're still a non-profit at the end of the day.
All right, fine. I'm not getting paid enough for this. Just go.
Thanks, no problem.
They
See
stick
ya,
with you, though.
officer.
Hey, officer, reaches in as we're walking by, slides him a business card. Officer, for the ball this year, when you guys have your holiday together, you guys need some entertainment. Aside from being a journalist, I'm Vegas's finest magician. You might want to give me a call.
He takes the business card with the same apprehension that one might handle a live grenade that still has the spoon held down, and he kind of looks at you and goes, "Yeah, sure. I'll make sure they know about it."
Finger guns.
Figure
I don't
guns.
think he's gonna call you.
Come on.
Look, it's it's a hard economy, guys. You got to do what you got to do. I like to think outside of the box as he draws a box in the air with the fingers. Man, you guys, how have you been? What'd you guys do?
Well, we're about to go look at this building for a witch, so like, if we want to go get to that, while the press are busy distracting the police for us.
Oh yeah, that's right. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, the witch
No, you're good.
away in the sewers.
Yeah, so, turns out, you guys have heard about some, like, fungus stuff? Weird.
Yeah, there was a dude who tried to feel up our witch, and now he has a green fungus that's growing on him. So
Yeah, turns out it's, from the Amazon. Might be, what was it you said it was, Jack? Boo-ha?
It's Boo-ha.
Bruha?
cool.
Booloo?
So it's she is a magically angry young lady. At least that's my 2 cents.
And, chances are, we don't want to anger that. Thankfully, we've got some, I think, magical equivalent of ointment.
Yeah, don't worry. Jack's got
And
you
some more pamphlets. Oh yeah, you have us covered, don't ya, ya smart boy? We'll tell the story later. I have some shit for you, Max. There's tea to spill.
There's so much tea.
There's later. After dinner. But she might be performing some South American magic, and we might want to be careful that we don't teleportation get stuff on us.
You don't want this. You don't want this stuff on you, Clarence. This is not your simple fungus that you probably walked through back in the day. Be careful.
Yeah, I'll let our good.
I was told that milking a cow was a magic talent.
It is.
I put my hand on Clarence's shoulder and tap really gently, buddy. It is. It really is.
And you
There's
do it
magic
better
in-
than anybody.
And you know what? By God, I'm gonna dub you the cow mage. Thank you. The first practitioner.
What do they call you, practitioner? The cow tipper.
The cow tip. You're,
The wizard class of bovine.
Anyway, long story short, we might want to avoid, going for a bath in this stuff.
no, don't breathe it in. Don't. Oh.
The
Yeah.
plan was already to not piss her off, so.
Right, but
We'll not piss her off.
we super don't want to piss her off. Like,
On the plus side,
if I can stress the potency of here, I'll lay it out for you. Do you guys like trees?
Yes.
Do you want to be a tree?
God. Alright,
That'd be pretty
shove
great.
Jenny in front
That'd
of
be
them.
pretty great.
why am I getting shoved first?
Hi, I'm a sarcastic asshole. We know this. You have to, like, fluffy shit or whatever. Make with the nights.
That's
Anyway,
Anyway,
what do we know about what happened here? There's definitively 110% more cops than I thought there would be.
We don't know, and also the press don't know anything. So, just kind of
Alright.
one of the others so that we can go poke around.
we
Are
should
we-
go.
Sneaking into the building, or...
That was my idea. You have other ideas. I'm open.
I have none.
I think the poking is the best thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because we could be like those guys on TV, and Jack takes off his sunglasses and puts them back on and says, "This is what I like to call not so fun. Get it, guys? Fun guy? Fun guy?" And then he makes the screaming noise from CSI.
Oh my god. Actually, that's a perfect place to kind of put attack in this episode. You guys are all kind of standing on the sidewall looking at a building that has essentially been tented with a ton of hazmat people going around going, "Yeah, we need to break into that." Excellent. Well, I guess that makes us fun guys. Shut the fuck up, Jack. Credits.
Shut the fuck up, Clarence.
Can Clarence like just hit him on the back of the head really quick? Just like a nice little slap, like a Gibbs slap from
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so that is the episode today. So you guys have had quite a ride, literally in some cases, with the events going on. I'm actually really happy with how this turned out. I'm excited to see where you guys go with these. So let's do good thing, bad thing, like we normally do. We'll just go from on player order on the actual splash itself. So we'll start with Maddie. Good thing, bad thing of the session.
Uh, good thing. Getting to do a fuck this shit, I'm out for the ferryman. Though Jenny's just assuming he's a magical taxi cab driver rather than anything else. Bad thing. I'm really, really tired and have had a long day. And that's the only thing I can think of is I have to be up tomorrow. I have to be at work tomorrow at 8. I'm not looking forward to that. And so I was kind of zoning for some of the session just because I was really, really.
Nah, it's fine.
It's book rush week. Everybody's getting their books, and all the people are mean. And also, I've become so accustomed to masks, I keep expecting NPCs to be wearing coronavirus masks.
I actually, one of the things I considered was making the coronavirus a part of the setting for the moment, and basically it came down to it would be really difficult for you guys to get the information that you need purely by virtual or distant means. So we're not going to pretend it isn't happening, but we're going to kind of fast forward a couple years and like, okay, we're everything else is past. We're back to normal. You know, as normal as iHunt can be.
6th wave of COVID.
Oh God, please no.
No, don't even joke.
Bob. No, that's
Yeah.
yours. Okay.
The good thing about this session was I really enjoyed the depth that things are going, and I really appreciated the backup I had in the chat on things, because that totally segues into the bad thing. Being new to this whole role-playing thing, I kind of had to step out of my bounds. I am not that guy, and I had to be that guy for the game, and I was like kind of having, I don't want to say a panic attack, but I felt like little touch of anxiety while I was playing that out.
Okay.
And that was just it. The confrontation with the holistics doctor, you know, I'm not like that type of person, but I can understand in a storytelling aspect like that's, you know, something that's going to happen. I didn't feel uncomfortable, like I didn't feel like, you know, ooh, bad touch. It was just something that like I'm not used to doing in real life, so I guess this would have been like my first real like conflict.
Okay.
While role playing, so it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just something I had to kind of learn and get through. So that would have been my bad thing. But my good thing was I really appreciated the support I got from everybody in the chat because I was totally uncomfortable during that exchange.
For what
but
it's
it wasn't bad. But anyway, what were you gonna say?
For what it's worth, you did an awesome job. Because there's a theory that I stick to very hard when it comes to role playing out conflict. Because conflict makes story, in my opinion. You can't have character growth and you can't have plot situations occur unless there's some sort of conflict driving it. And whether that's an overt conflict like you got involved with or a covert one such as the things going on behind the scenes in Las Vegas, it's difficult to test the bounds of I shouldn't say test the bounds. It's hard to push the plot without something that grinds against the players and provides them challenge. And there's escalation to it too. Like, would you? This is the kind of the problem I have with some D&D. Would you pull a sword out and stab somebody for stealing something from you?
Not in real life.
Exactly, and that's kind of the concept of it. Is generally people will start with words, verbal altercation. They'll start going back and forth in order to try to essentially like cow the other person into giving up, or they reach an impasse. If there's any type of escalation, it's not immediately going to be pistols drawn. We're going to start throwing hoodoo in the middle of the kitchen. It's I'm going to push you. You know, like, hey, get away from me. It's that gentle, like, okay, well, you're not listening to my verbal argument, so I'm going to have to reinforce that this could get physical in a bad way. So I'm going to push you. You may push back, and then it'll escalate to fisticuffs. But your point of any of those altercations is to try to end the altercation at that level of escalation. And if you want to try to basically domineer the person into submission, you'll go up to the next level of escalation. What we would normally classify people that are kind of outside of the scope of normal morality, or people that don't comprehend that type of stuff, such as sociopaths, they immediately go to the point of escalation they know will immediately cut it off and show once and for all that you don't mess with them. So for what this was worth, you followed escalation fantastically. You stood up, you went nose to nose with her, you were really you were playing the character perfectly. You didn't believe in what she was talking about, you thought she was a complete hoax, and it was almost borderline offensive to the fact that what you thought was a hokey tradition was trying to stand up to what you felt was the correct way of doing things. And she had the exact same reaction to being challenged. So the fact that you got to a certain point and eventually Jack went, okay, all right, well, this has gone a little too far for what I'm comfortable with. Let's just apologize and cool off. And that's what worked. 9 times out of 10, that's exactly what will happen, is people don't want to go to that next step. They don't want to go into pushing. They don't want to go into fighting. So if somebody steps down and they have a cooler head, then it'll go from there.
Absolutely. I just don't want. I saw someone chime into the chat, and I know it was a joke, but the mansplaining things. Like I'm not that guy. I'm
No,
very
you're not.
bad. I am so bad at the idea, even mansplaining. Even like when I get to the point where it's like being friends, I'm so bad at that concept. So yep. I don't want the party and everybody to think like that's how I am in real life. I guess that was part of my anxiety with it. So
yeah, no, there's a big separation between player and character, and in this case, if you start off with a perfectly well-adjusted character, it's hard to have any growth for them. Jack is starting off as his biggest drawback as being a really capable magician is his ego. So, while jokes are made, it's not actually felt that way. There's a big difference between how we feel about your character and how our characters ask. Jenny almost punched you in the face. Me, I'm loving every moment of it.
Yeah, it was a great dramatic moment. It really was. You played it perfectly for what it's worth.
Look, I'll be honest, I can't actually milk a cow without getting kicked.
So yeah, don't worry. The anxiety, I understand. It's really difficult to go through a role playing session, and it's difficult sometimes not to take the things said personally. And I know I started to see kind of as we escalated, it was a little bit more difficult for you to come back and continue to press forward. But you did a good job. I will never hate you for that kind of stuff. I will never dislike anybody in this party for playing their character. What I dislike personally is when people use that as an excuse for bad behavior. In your particular case, the behavior came naturally. It was an extension of his ego, right? He's being challenged, he's trying to prove this hoax wrong, and it goes from there. It's not well, I'm just going to throw my weight around because I can, and then when challenged about it as a player, you're like, well, that's what my character would do. So the fact that you're taking that separation between player and character seriously means that you're doing it correctly. You are 100% getting into this the way that you should be. And you're keeping a good head about it too. So don't worry about any type of conflict like that.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I just want the whole party to know, like, you guys are all more experienced than I am, so maybe I'm just like reading too much into it. I just don't want you guys to like hate me at the end of the day, and I don't want you guys to like think I'm, I don't know, ever trying to be like a certain way, because I'm just not.
No.
This is my first experience, so just pardon my anxiety on it.
No, dude, you have a perfectly good reason to be anxious. It's your first time doing it, you're new at role playing, and it's understandable. I appreciate you being honest with it and asking your teammates for help. That really reinforces how, at least for your own anxiety, that nobody's really mad at you. This may be a conflicting moment, but that doesn't mean that I am mad at you. It doesn't mean that I want you to fail. Nothing like that. And it doesn't mean that you're being a bad person either. You are sticking with the thing that made the complication occur. Like, I gave you the fate point so that your aspect would come into play. And come into play it did. Like, there was very close to blows at some point. And that really made what you were looking for a lot harder to get. And that was perfect. That's exactly how you want to play that. So kudos to you, man. You did a good job.
Appreciate it.
Next on the list is Vex. Good thing, bad thing.
Good thing. Huh. Can I say all of it? Because, like, all of the role-playing was so much fun. And, like, I get a little bit of that anxiety of the, like, I'm playing a character who is not a nice person, but it sure is fun to play. But, like, specifically, I love the Charon being the taxi driver, and also all of the stuff with the fungus, and also all of the stuff with the press, and just I just love this game a lot. Sorry, I don't have a more specific thing.
It's fine. It's what you enjoyed. You liked the setting and how everybody played into it.
Yeah. Bad thing. I had a thing. It was in. Just myself being aware of my own surroundings when I was playing with a contact ball. A couple of times I caught myself on my headphone cable, and I'm just a little mad at myself for not remembering that it's not like I haven't been doing video calls for this entire freaking pandemic. So in future, when I grab a prop or a something that Max is going to be fiddling with, I'm just going to try to keep that from knocking everything down.
Well, at least you weren't on the actual like video chat on the stream, so nobody noticed besides us.
No one could see.
All right, Brian, what you got for me?
Well, I really enjoyed the split dynamic that we went for today. Two different groups going to two different places, trying to solve a mystery and ending up at the same place anyways. Kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it worked pretty well. Even though we were having to go one story at a time, it seemed to flow well still, and I didn't have any problem sitting here listening to the other story because it was so interesting. And I feel like it went the same way the other way around. It was all pretty great. My bad thing for the day is just that my one of my friend's cats is missing. She ran away.
Oh no.
So, yeah. So I get to try to help with that a little bit tomorrow. We'll see how that works out.
Gotcha.
Hopefully the cat shows back up.
Yeah, best of luck.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, good thing, bad thing for me. Good thing, I tried quite a few new things out with this one. I tried to keep a bit more mindful of how much I was explaining and letting you guys develop and talk and interact. I think I did a better job of it than I did last time. It seems like you guys were very invested in everything that was going on, as well as the different set pieces that popped up, stuff like that. I have been referring to my notes pretty much all game. I've had some of this stuff planned for like months now at this point, of just like, okay, I'm ready to go with this person or this thing or this idea, and the only bad thing is I'm kicking myself for asking for quarters because it immediately revealed who it was. And I'm like, fuck me, god damn, immediately got it. But that being said, there's still a lot to him that you guys have yet to encounter.
I look so forward to him.
See, that threw me off because I've always heard pennies. It's Irish for
Yep.
pennies.
Yep.
And so, like, quarters threw me off a bit.
Yep. It's
Got to adjust for inflation. You know?
I was attempting to go with a like a parking meter vibe, like, oh, I need 2 quarters for the parking meter. Oh yeah, sure you do. Here you go. And then Bob fucking caught it. I'm like, oh yeah, there we go.
Well, that was Jack. I only put it off. Jack's, at least aware of world around the occulty side and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm sure he would have picked up that it was, what was going on.
I mean, not necessarily, but yeah.
I am excited to see how you guys utilize these NPCs later on, or how they will interact with you. Obviously, you may not be able to summon the ferryman, but there will certainly be points where you guys will encounter him. It'll be like, oh, we need to get somewhere quickly. Okay. And that kind of thing, and figuring out even why he's helping you. is going to be pretty interesting. I got, like I said, I got plots, I got ideas, I got things in the background, and I'm trying to take more of an approach where I kind of sit back and let you guys encounter them instead of trying to force it through and seeing what goes on. So a lot of this is going to be driven by you guys. That being said, downside, I will mimic Bob's. I felt a little bad with the escalation, mostly because I was kind of reading off of your guys' energy at that point, and I could feel the anxiety and tension start to ramp up a little bit. But I'm happy to know that I didn't press it too far. That is something that I feel like I'm pretty good at. When I did Shadowrun for a long time, that's a very dark system. So I'm used to people being able to kind of duke it out with the ego, almost like, oh no, I'm the best at what I fucking do, of course I am, like, and being able to go toe to toe. And that was a little bit of a lapse on my part, so I'll try and keep the role playing a bit more honed in next time. But that does give me a good sense of where to kind of push things. I'm glad it went okay. I'm glad you guys were able to support each other through that, and specifically support Bob. It really shows me that I picked a good table for all of you guys to be able to, not only for Bob, you to be able to be comfortable reaching out, but everybody immediately jumping on and helping them out. So, yep, that's pretty much it. Does anybody want to say anything extra before we end the stream for the night?
Yeah, real quick. It's right now is really scary. It's a lot. Like, I just got another notice on my phone that the entire state of Illinois is going under state of emergency. So I'm kind of just sitting here and I'm sleeping on the couch tonight, just staring at the window, make sure it's okay. My anxiety is like super spiked more than normal, and just lots of long rest. And I just appreciated having the game tonight because it really helped keep me, focused on something that's not. And now I'm like not playing, and it's like, okay, now I can lay here and stare at the couch.
Yeah, I feel it. Well, like I said, best of luck to you, man. If you need to call me or anything like that at any point, like it gets too much, feel free. I'll
Thanks,
answer if I
appreciate
can.
it.
Yeah. I mean, same goes for me.
Appreciate it.
All
We're
right.
here for you, Bob.
We here for
Thanks,
everybody.
thank you.
We here for you.
How many did the creator get to watch tonight? I didn't watch.
Philomena was,
Yes.
and I think Olivia was listening through her because I think Philomena's her wife. I think.
Okay.
I'll double check as we go on, but Philomena has tuned into both the last one and this one.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and I think at one point they had to step away, and they said they basically had it on in the background. They really liked the scene with Succo. Apparently that's kind of where they started commenting in on it, and they absolutely loved the interaction between Succo and the rest of the party. So
I love Succo, man. Like, weekly poker nights, we're slowly going to collect everybody that has a gripe with
All right, so everybody say goodnight to the stream. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Same bat time, same bat channel, 8 p.m.
Stream.
Eastern. Everybody, if you have anything to plug it now.
Good night, stream.
Bob After Dark is newest episode comes out on Friday in Podcast Land, talking about extraterrestrials this week in Bob Lazar. So I'm doing something slightly different. I shot my Viewer's Choice Month, so it's going to be a little different than my norm, which is pretty exciting. So check that out wherever you guys listen to podcasts.
Will do.
Nice. All right, you guys have a great night. I'm going to go ahead and stop the stream. You guys are free to stick around for a couple minutes if you would like. But have a great night, guys.
Yes.
Night, guys.
Good night.